right, peace.
Not too much peace. Man, stuff to cut off. God damn. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We talking real estate. Our lead guy B Dix will be back. We have some technical difficulties.
All right, yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna be back in a minute. Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
we back now.
I don't know what happened, man. I think I pressed the wrong button. I know I was messing with the destination. Hold on, I'm about to go to Twitch instead. Like, all right, I see what happened. So yeah, what happened is my ex, used to be Twitter account. You need the premium. Now, and I had that, and I was trying to switch up. And when I removed it, I removed my whole self and everything. You know what I mean? So now we live on Twitch, we live on YouTube, we live on LinkedIn. I gotta fix my Facebook too. So my Facebook been acting up as well. So all right, let's go ahead and start to kick it off, man. All right, so let's go ahead and rock it up. I know I'm rusty, man. We ain't been in 2-3 weeks. I feel rusty, man.
In a minute. Shake it off.
So all right,
so the free throw.
Yeah, so Brandon B. Dixon, NLS 1541210 at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Go to the YouTube as well as at Billionaire Loan Officer. If you want to book me for a consultation or you want to get a mortgage done, go to my website, www.applywithb.com. You can call me 832-775-8357. Call me 24/7. Also, if you want to lease, you want to list, you want to get a rental property, go to my website, www.brandonbdixon.com. Last but not least, CLCinvestmentclub.com if you want to mitigate your risk and get into our investment club where you want to learn how to become a real estate investor. All right. And Corey, I got you lined up.
All right. My commercial is short. Corey Smith, broker owner of Commodore Mortgage. Like prime time, I ain't too hard to find.
Gotcha. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off, man. Man, we got a bunch of clips. I know we've been missing in action. It's been a crazy.
Too long.
Been a crazy. I've been doing a lot of more of rental loans. I've been doing a lot more of investor stuff. A lot of people like to fix and flip. I think just because of the strength of the podcast of how I've been gunning it. It's a new clientele, so I've been kind of busy with them. I appreciate everybody that's been coming through. I mean, I got a new time. I still do first time home buyers. I had like a couple of people come through that's first timers, but a lot of people have been taking and doing construct loans and cash out refi to do renovation. I got the people, so come on, keep on going through. And I like the way I'm doing this because I got getting a lot of experience on doing these rehab loans and taking these properties and buying them for cheap, showing getting the bids and stuff, all that coordinated, contingency reserves and all that stuff. So and I'm knowing which banks got the best rates and all that stuff. So this as I'm getting my muscle memory together. So that with that being said, I got a mixture. I got a hodgepodge because I've been saving them for the last 3 weeks of mortgage stuff, real estate stuff, real life stuff, a little bit of everything. So I don't remember which order I got them in, but shit, we just gonna rock it as they come, So we'll just react to it as we get to it. So let's go ahead. I know this first one, the mortgage. Let's start off with the mortgage one. So this is my guy, man, out of California. I know he on your tip, Corey. He like he mess with Rocket a lot.
All right.
So he a Rocket guy.
Rocket buying up everything, by the way. You know what I'm saying? We want to go ahead and shout that out.
Happened at the same time. Oh my God, I never see so much news hit so hard. If you didn't know, 2 new laws just came out. One of them is a new law. Another one, they're just canning it. So number one, FHFA, the Federal Housing Finance Authority, which pretty much runs conventional loans, they have banned down payment assistance programs. So conventional loans, if you were thinking about going to a bank to getting a bond program, or even for me, Rocket, we have specific programs for conventional loans only, they are banning those down payment assistance programs. So if you're not in escrow to fund your loan, you're going to have to switch to FHA. So typically, like I used to work at US Bank, they had a program. Citibank has a program. A lot of these big banks, they have to have these specific bond programs that were available for low and low moderate income families and in neighborhoods. Those programs are pretty much gone. So if you do or you had a pre-approval, go back to your lender and get an FHA version. The conventional version is gone starting today. That is big news because it's going to make it a little bit harder now for middle and low moderate income people to qualify. You can go FHA, which is still optional, is still there. But the people who want to go conventional, there was a lot of good programs. I didn't provide the programs, but a lot of the big banks did. But those programs are not existing anymore. But the second one, the reason why they're doing it, because Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are pretty much right now they're under the umbrella of the government because of the crash of 2008. Now that crash is over, and now they're going to go private again. So that's why, since they're going private, they're kind of making all these changes because they're going private. Okay. Second big change that is happening. So please, guys, if you're a realtor or a lender, share this information. There's a reason why when I give information, I don't put, oh, what's a mortgage, min, all over, because I want you guys to share the information. I'm not trying to take your clients. If your clients find me, that's on their own, but I'm out there. I just need you guys to let your clients know that, hey, conventional is off the table. Go ahead and do that. And then number two, the big one for FHA loans, no more non-residents. So you have to be a permanent citizen of the United States or an American citizen. So if you are here on a visa, you cannot qualify to buy a home anymore. If you are here, if you're DACA, that also counts for you as well. So now you would have to go conventional. You cannot go FHA anymore. Okay. So everyone understand that? So no more non-permanent residents. Only permanent residents and American citizens can go FHA starting today. If you have an FHA loan already, if rates pull back, you cannot streamline to reduce your payment. You would have to wait to go conventional. Okay. So that is probably the major change of that one. They didn't even give a window. It starts today. So there's a mortgagee letter already out. I made that video. It's probably going to post in the next couple of days. Of course, I want to go on here live. Unless I try to edit it myself, it might be tomorrow's market update. But there is a mortgagee letter. You can look up mortgagee, right? It's right here. If you look up this mortgagee letter, I have all the details for you. All right? For those of you out there. So if you have a green card, you're fine. If you have a green card, absolutely fine. Okay? If you have a permanent residence green card, you are fine. Okay? Hopefully that helps you out. It did help the masses anyways. That's right, Paulie. It didn't, but it did hit a lot of people. Thank you so much. So those are the two big changes. Realtors, lenders, go out and talk to your clients. Give them this information so that if we're approved for it. Now, think about this. I have actually a lot of people that are approved at Citibank for a specific program, and my friends over at US Bank, now they got to come back to me for an FHA down payment system. There is the Empower program. Cal HFA, if it's a state program, I don't know, but I know the nationwide bond programs you're gonna get hits. So California has Cal HFA. I have to look into it. There's an FHA version and the conventional version. The FHA version is still intact, but with this now, I have to look up to see if the conventional version is intact or not. But I think because it's a loan and not money that's given as a grant that's gonna be forgiven, I think you'll be fine. I think the money that is given as a loan, you're fine. But the money that's given as a grant, where the money is forgiven, that's what they're really hitting. Okay, so look it up. If you're qualified for a conventional DPA, find out right away. Do they still have that program? If they do, you're lucky. If they don't, you got to start searching now. Don't wait till you're in escrow and all of a sudden you fall out. FHA, like I said, if it's a if you are a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, green card, you're fine. Non-resident or DACA, you cannot go FHA. You need to look into conventional guidelines. If you already have an FHA loan, you will not be able to do a streamline from what I've read so far. That part I have to double check, but so far that's where it's at. Hopefully this information helps you guys out. Do me a huge favor, share this video. Also, guys, if I bring you value.
All right, so you're doing too much commercial now. So,
man, it was a lot. It was a lot, and a lot of the stuff was repetitive.
right. Well, you got to repeat stuff like Umar Jackson nowadays with people. You know what I'm saying? So in order for to get it, I know I see the boy Umar repeat everything 3 times. You know.
Lord have mercy.
You want to go in on that first? I'll set up the next clip.
So my biggest thing is this: is when you talk about it, depends on where you exactly at. We're in Texas, right? So when we're in Texas, the DPAs for conventional is not going anywhere. Like I haven't received any notification. So I'm not quite sure where he's talking about because everything is regional. Everything is particular to what side of the country that you're in. But we still have the program still going for conventional. It's always been the case where you have more programs going to FHA versus conventional. It's just the way it is. When it comes to immigration, I did hear about that where things are changing. If you're not a resident, you know what I'm saying, you can't get a loan. And then now things are changing. That hasn't made it permanent as of yet, but just with the way of the with the climate and every way everything is going, a lot of investors and lenders and things like that are ahead of the curve. They're going ahead and changing everything where they're not accepting that because they won't be able to sell the loan later on back in the on the backside. But long story short, you know what I'm saying, a lot of good information to know. There are still DPA programs available. FHA conventional, as he alluded to, just make sure you check with your lender or check with some kind of local authority and then just kind of see what's available with you moving forward. Just because in this climate, the mortgages change all the time. They change every other day, if not every day. So you just kind of want to make sure you're abreast and don't get stuck in a position that's going to screw you in the end. That's it.
Well, this not to be redundant, because I'm pretty sure everybody heard what he said, because he said about 3-4 times. Let's just spin it out to something different. You should get that's why you always want to deal with a broker, because a lot of times if you only limit it to the menu that particular bank has, they might not have the products, all the products that you need. And you only going by this bank, or you brand loyal to this particular bank and they ain't got everything you need. So with a broker, we have different programs. If that program is no longer available, I might have something else comparable for you so you can fit in. Most of these high-end banks, they're not going to have everything that you need. So they'll say, no, we ain't got that anymore. A lot of banks don't even deal with DPA anyway.
Right.
There's going to be mostly retail. And then even the retail, they limited on what exactly they have. So I would say find a broker that has more banks and more variety and know what he's talking about, and they're specializing in DPA as opposed to being brand loyal to one person and they don't have everything you need. I know it's gonna hurt because I do deal with a lot of foreign investors and stuff like that might have a visa, so that might hurt them. Now we got to get more creative. You got to get, again, let's go back to the broker thing where you could, you might not be able to do a personal guarantee, but your LLC could. You could buy a purchase under the LLC. Might not get a better rate, but there's all kind of ways to get creative. So get with a broker. I know ways around it, so if you're a foreign investor, come my way. I got a way to get around it, or, that's why we got the investment club, so on and so forth. So there's ways to get funded, especially if you got something that, that's going to make some money, so we had one informative one. So let's kind of mix it up. Let's go into one ratchet one. Let's see what you think of this one right now. One informative, one ratchet. We're gonna kind of go back and forth. You know what I mean?
All right.
You know, because we don't want border people to death. You know what I'm saying? Because men went in for like 10 minutes on, you know what I'm saying?
He did. We want to keep them locked in. I got you.
Keep them locked in. So let's go into one ratchet one. Let's see what you think about this. I just seen this one today. This is a recent one, so I thought this was interesting. You know, interesting.
Where are we? Who house?
It's our house, babe. I just bought it.
This house?
Yeah, this house, babe. What's wrong?
This not the house we agreed on. Why would you do that?
This is what I could afford, babe. I bought this because it's what I could afford.
You care about me being happy or you being happy? Because I'm not happy with this. This is not what you were supposed to have bought.
I care about both of us being happy, and you're not making no payments.
I don't care about that. I'm not gonna want to stay here. I'd rather stay where we are now. Where are we? Who house?
It's our house, babe. I just bought it.
Where we at now?
Where we at right now? We renting this. We own in here. You know the property value can go up.
No,
you ain't even seen the inside.
I don't want to see the inside. To me, it looks no. To be honest,
what's wrong with this house?
It's small. Look at that little window. Like it's small. Like I don't even want to be here. And then you're talking about some that you can afford it. Like you can afford better than this.
You don't spend all your money on the house, but you got to keep something in the bank.
Okay, and we have enough in the bank to get something better than this. This is not what I expected to how I wanted to live my life. Certain enough for my kids.
You gonna help me pay the bills, babe?
No.
Okay, so then what? Let's go see the house. Let's go. At least, where we at now? Where we at right now?
All right, so what you think of this, man?
The patience is a lot greater than mine. Right? Because you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, and I forget who had the quote. I think it was Channing. I think it was Channing on their podcast that had one that said, you know what I'm saying, what you want is a co-pilot. You don't want a backseat driver. You don't want a backseat rider, right? Or a passenger. You want a co-pilot, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, when you're building something and you're being financially responsible, you don't want that person that's going to drag you down or not have the same mindset for the goal that you're trying to achieve. And when I look at a situation like this, it reminds me of the video, which I'm pretty sure that you saw because it went viral, where the dad actually purchased a car for his daughter. And his daughter cut a fool because it wasn't a Tesla. A nice BMW, a nice SUV BMW, which is probably better than 90% of the high schoolers have at her age. But she wasn't appreciative of it. She didn't want it, take it back, all this other stuff. And she cut a fool just because, I'm saying, she wanted a Tesla. So when I look at this video, it just kind of reminds me of how many men get drugged down just because the woman wants to be materialistic and only live based upon, what they can deem as a luxury of what everybody else could see. Because when she looks at that house, she doesn't see everybody pulling up to it and be like, oh my God, this house is so nice. You guys are doing well. You know what I'm saying? Everybody envying them and all this other stuff. All this materialistic stuff that they have going on. And he was very patient to record the film, to record the actual reaction. But, I don't think I would have been so patient, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't necessarily see the bigger picture at the end of the day, there's nothing really to discuss with us. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on to the next. But I definitely think, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to that reaction, it's unnecessary. And it just kind of shows you exactly her mindset and where she is. She's not a co-pilot, she's a passenger. You need to find one that's a co-pilot, period.
Right. I mean, this is my reaction to it. I just thought it was interesting. I'm just thinking how many do fall victim to that, to like buying down or catering to that mentality where you bite off more than you could chew. And then
because you're trying to appease the woman.
Because you're trying to appease, something that's emotional and not really thinking straight. Like if you could afford that, that's what you could afford. And nowadays, like I said, they don't marry on potential. They marry on right now. Like what's right now, what you can do for me, what's tangible right now, and that's why there's no more young. You already got to be established, and that's why a lot of divorces, because like, all right, if I'm not doing what you want, you leave, and then it cuts your potential. Or you like a lot of my friends that just they find themselves in their 40s getting divorced because she's not happy or whatever, and you never reach your potential because you still digging yourself out the hole that you created to try to do the impossible, is make somebody else happy that's not happy with themselves. If you need validation from somebody else, you're definitely not happy with yourself. So why do you need, if the house is functional and it's structurally intact, who cares about the cosmetics? A
materialistic woman,
right? So how many people fall victim to that? Like, all right, I got to have the biggest house, I got to have the big, and that's not really what you need. So, and you go spend a whole bunch of money trying. A friend of mine, I know you probably watch, so I ain't gonna name no names. So, shit, he got the Rover, he got this, he got that, and still left him, and he still got to dig himself out the hole. My grandfather died like that, shit, a bunch of bills, still working past his retirement age, got to still hustle out there, 80-something cutting lawns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I agree with you that you got to find the right partner. A lot of partner is supposed to be a partner, not a liability. So you'll find yourself getting into that and never getting yourself out the hole.
Here's the thing, I'm saying, is that I think it's overrated to where it becomes this cliche where I'm saying you're only a man if you can provide what the woman wants, right? And I think a lot of times, I'm saying, if you have the wrong woman will lead you down a hole and she will leave you there and then move on to the next dude. And a lot of guys seem to fall prey, I'm saying, like, oh, this is what my woman wants. I'm not a man unless I provide what my woman wants. Even though what your woman wants makes no sense whatsoever. And it's going to put you in a financial bind, and it's going to put you in a financial position. Because I'm a man, I have to give her what she wants. And I think a lot of men end up in a hole and find themselves very disappointed, because once you find yourself in a hole, the woman's looking at you at the end of the day. The bottom line is the woman's going to look at you, you're the man. If that was the wrong decision, you should have been a man to stand up and say it. Regardless of how much pressure they put on you, it's always going to be the man's fault, majority of the time. So I think for men, I'm saying, we have to get to a point where, I'm saying, we actually stand up and actually decide for ourselves what's right for the family and what's not wrong, what's not right for the family. And I think, I'm saying, putting yourself in a bind is never right for the family, you, the woman, or the children. And one big thing, I'm saying, that we don't talk about that he asked was, are you planning to help? Are you planning to contribute to the bills in the house? Are you planning to contribute to the mortgage on the house? And she said no.
All right.
So then how can you demand a better house, or how can you demand that I put myself in a position that I can't afford if you're not willing to be by my side and help me out? I think right there, I'm saying, the writing's on the wall. And when they talk about red flags is all over the place. They throwing themselves a plethora. And I think it's upon the man, I'm saying, to actually be able to decipher that, not be blinded by the coochie.
Right. Well, like I said, a lot of boys are blinded, and a lot of them don't forget that is conditional on top of condition. What if you don't know the difference between being logical and you emotional too, and you want the same thing she wants? So a lot of them be the blind leading the blind. So you don't know the difference of being responsible. So and a lot of people are house poor because of that. We see it all the time. You want to be at the tippy top of your budget. You never want to do that. You want to, like I said, I even downgraded. Like I said, so-called downgrade. It's the same thing. Besides the curb appeal and appeasing, it's all still functional.
Yep.
So And like I said, I'd rather do that than have bills every month coming in. And like I said, I'd rather do what I'm doing right now. I had to learn, like, all right, well, I looked at it in 10 years. I had probably like less than 15 people over to my house in 10 years. So why am I, maintaining this house and I don't have no people over there like that.
Correct.
So it's all for optics. Who am I trying to please?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I
had to wake up like, who am I doing this for?
But exactly, you know what I'm saying? But you have to do a self-assessment, right? You know what I'm saying? And then decide, okay, well, look, what am I really thinking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, what am I really doing this for? Like, what's my decisions based upon? Right. And then you have to look within yourself, you know what I'm saying, to be like, okay, well, look, I understand the errors of my ways.
Right.
I'm going to correct those. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look, the decisions moving forward is this, this, and this. I'm no longer picking a house based upon what somebody's going to think when they pull up, right?
Right.
Because you know what I'm saying, here's the thing, is that I think people mindset is limited by the experiences that they have, the diversification of the experiences that they have. If I raised up in a hood and the only thing that I see is for a person to actually know that another person has money, they have to have Louis Vuittons, they have to have Gucci, they have to have the Rolls Royces, they have to have the Lexuses and all this other stuff. That is my perception. But then when you get outside of that, you start to realize a lot of these other coaches are running around in Toyotas, Hyundais, Kias, and they got way more money than anybody could ever have in the hood. But you know what I'm saying, you don't see it. But when I go to their parties, I'm like, oh, these cats are filthy rich. And I see their house, okay, these cats are filthy rich. Or I see, you know what I'm saying, they're able to go on vacation every other month. Right. They're able to go on vacation and spend 2 or 3 weeks on vacation. I'm struggling if I do 4 or 5 days on vacation, right?
Right.
But yet they're driving a Kia and I'm driving a Lexus. There's something different about that, right? But it takes that experience to understand different cultures and different people and different mindsets in order to understand just having and spending a whole bunch of goddamn money is not what it takes to understand and live life, be happy in life, and have people understand the value that you have in life and the wealth that you have. Right. Like I've seen multimillionaires pull up in a goddamn Kia. Like it's crazy. Multimillionaires on real estate and have a lot of money in the bank, and they pull up in, you name it, a goddamn Kia, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or they pull up in a Toyota. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. I think, you know what I'm saying, we have this perception that because we've gotten a little bit of money, we have to show it. And that's not necessarily the case. The biggest question is, what quality of life are you living? If you're house poor at the end of the day, where, hey, look, majority of my money is going towards paying this house. I can't afford to take vacations. I can't afford to do the regular card. I can't afford to take my kids to the jumpy house, that type of thing. It's not worth it at the end of the day. So, you know what I'm saying? I think for us, we have a mindset, a messed up mindset where we're not thinking about the quality of life versus what the outside thing perceives our in-house to be.
Right. My man TJ, man, said what's good, fellas, man. What's good, man? I know we've been delinquent, man. Like I said, as
TJ,
far as
what's up, baby?
Yeah, man, we back in the building. We had to come in on a Wednesday. I was like, man, I can't miss another. I got so many clips. I gotta go ahead get updated. So, that's why we here on a Wednesday, where I had a little bit of time here. So let's go ahead to this next clip and let's go ahead and keep the party rolling. Because I got quite a few, because I know I've been missing the last couple of weeks. So let's go ahead and keep on rolling, man.
Property taxes are basically a scam. Every year, they raise your home's assessed value and then tax you at that higher rate. But you can fight them on this value, and they don't tell you that because they're hoping that you won't figure it out and you just keep giving them free money. Most people never appeal and just keep getting overcharged every single year. But if you use Ownwell, they do all the work to fight your tax bill for you, and you only pay them if they save you money. It took me 30 seconds to check my address and find out that I was overpaying by $1,200. It's free to sign up, and 3 minutes max. I'll drop the link below for you. Texas property taxes are...
I know she had to add the little, on there, but I wanted to open that can of worms, about the property tax, because a lot of people don't understand that. And I want to break it down real quick. People don't understand that it's subjective. It's a person evaluating that, and you could always protest that property tax. And I did this piggyback this clip on purpose because a lot of people we talked about that buy at the tippy top of their budget ain't taking this into account that tax is gonna go up. So if you're already busting the wallet and your taxes go up, you might lose that house. So you got to have room to grow as well, but that your taxes could go up and that insurance could go up. So you never wanted to buy at the top of your budget. But however, yeah, taxes are gonna raise, and they're gonna be raised unless you say something about it. So you got to be diligent every year and protest that thing and be active, have your facts together, and not just be asleep at the wheel. So I'll go ahead and leave it like that.
Hey, look, and in most cases, a lot of people think that because my county tax value is high, that necessarily means my house, is worth that same amount. I don't want to touch and I don't want to protest my actual property taxes because I don't want my house value to go down. But what a lot of people don't understand is, the county tax value that they give you is completely different than what you could sell your house for. When you get ready to sell your house and you go to an agent is going to do comps in the area based upon what houses have sold for, and they're going to sell your house for that. It has nothing to do with what the county appraises your house at. So understand, if you protest your taxes, you are not dropping down the value of your house, which is absolutely asinine. That you can actually think about that. And I need you to understand that. Every single year, we want to lower the actual property value of our taxes because, it's going to lead to a lower monthly payment as far as our mortgage goes, and it's going to lead to less taxes being paid. So every single year you want to protest your taxes. If you don't want to pay anybody to protest your taxes on your own. In most cases, when you protest your taxes on your own, they're going to give you a little bit. They're going to reduce it a little bit because they already know, hey, look, we're maxing out how much you're going to go up. We understand that. So if you protest it, we're going to give you an A for effort. We're going to give you a little bit, right? But it's when you go into detail and you try to protest a little bit that they're going to give you when they start to go into detail. Hey, look, provide us information, provide us pictures and all this other stuff, whatever the case may be. So in any case, if you choose to do it yourself or you choose to hire somebody, they're going to drop it a little bit. Now, if you hire somebody to do it, you're giving them incentive to drop your actual property taxes. You're giving them incentive to figure out a way to drop your property taxes. And they only get paid if they save you money. So there's only a certain percentage of the money that you save that you're actually paying to the property tax protest people. So there's no reason that every single year you shouldn't protest your property taxes. Understand it has nothing to do with your value of your house and what you can sell it for. What it has to do with the property taxes that you can pay. The less property tax that you pay, the more money you can keep in your pocket. So I think it's a great video for people to understand and a topic for us to talk about. Just understand that it has nothing to do with it. Every single year you should be protesting your property taxes.
Gotcha. Let's hit this next one.
But yet you're afraid to walk in there.
Correct.
Why is that?
Because it's full of mold and it made me sick.
That's the reality for this family. In fact, some Manville homeowners filed a lawsuit against their home building, claiming their brand new homes are unlivable and making them sick. Fox 26's Randy Wallace has this only on Fox Report.
You own this house outright, you paid cash, but yet you're afraid to walk in there.
Correct.
Why is that?
Because it's full of mold and it made me sick.
You pay a monthly mortgage for this house.
I do, yeah.
But you don't live at the house.
No, we don't.
You're afraid to walk in that house.
Yes, we are.
Why?
Well, number one, I'm 7 months pregnant, and we have mold contamination in our home.
This was supposed to be where Courtney Colville lived after retirement. Do you want to live in this house?
Absolutely not. I can't even imagine it. It's so stressful to even be here.
this was kind of your dream house. This is where you were going to raise a family. When you look at it now, what is it?
It's a disaster. It's a nightmare. I don't want to go into the home at all.
The reality is this is devastating to the homeowner. It's akin, very much to your house burning down, but it's a slow burn. But at the end of the process, they have a house they can't live in.
Attorney Ernest Freeman is representing Aaron and Courtney in their lawsuits against their home builder, Coventry Homes.
It all has to do with how the house was put together and whether the builder employed best practices and or followed building codes. And oftentimes they don't do either.
The lawsuits accuse Coventry Homes of negligence, breach of contract, and common law fraud.
If I had to boil it down, I would say that the builder doesn't seal the house properly from the outside in.
Both Aaron and Courtney say the mold caused them to get sick and their houses unfit to live in. Aaron says it all started when she noticed that right up there.
I had lots of rashes, dermatitis. I also had 2 miscarriages while I was in the home. And thankfully, about a year after being out of the home, I'm pregnant and we're expecting our first child.
What's it like for you to just look at? I mean, it's very pretty in there. What's it like to look in there and know that you can't live in there?
It's devastating. It's as if I walked out to go to the grocery store and just could never walk back in.
We reached out to Coventry Homes attorney by phone and email for response. We've yet to hear back.
These builders build these homes so fast with little oversight, and the consumers often are the ones that suffer at the end of the day.
Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead on that right fast, but I'm gonna just say this, man. The one that's pregnant about to get paid. She about to get paid in the shade. Secondly,
well, that's it. That's it still in business.
Well, Coventry opened the neighborhood we were talking about before I got on air. They part of the builders they ain't going out of big. Coventry is one of the big major builders, so they ain't going out no time soon. They got money, but yeah, they're gonna have to pay off some money. I mean, we told people this all the time, and I'm glad this piggyback to follow the previous clips. The woman want the big pretty house. Everything that glitters ain't always gold. Number one. People want these new houses just because they new. They think they better built than anything else. False. Don't forget, it's not a person that works for Coventry Homes, Lennar, D.R. Horton. It's Hector. It's Jose that's building these houses. There's no training. It's all about bottom line, who they could get cheap. And it's like she said, it's minimal supervision. There's deadlines. All right, my property manager coming here. This better be done by this time. And the subcontractors just want to get paid. And it's part A. It's the new sign of the times where people don't take pride in their work anymore. Back in the day, they used to have carpenters. I want to be the best carpenter just because I have pride. That's gone. People just want the paper over pride. So that's A part. And then B part is that, you got a lot more people that's coming from everywhere else, and they don't care because they're not going to be in the neighborhood. They're going to take that bread back home to where they come from. And so it ain't like I got to be held accountable. You don't know me. So I just want to get that paper for the day. So there's no repercussion if I do put nothing, I just tape that wall up and don't nail it right. Who cares? If you find out that you're not gonna hold me accountable. So that's the second part of that. So we gotta stop getting fooled by this fool's gold. It's fool's gold. All right, it's a nice, pretty house, pretty neighborhood, planned development. But did you watch it being built? Do you know the reputation of this home builder? Just because they're a big builder doesn't mean they're quality. Hector's still gonna build it. So proof's in the pudding. I'll let you.
If you look at a lot of these builders, you know what I'm saying, and you look at the lawsuits that's against them, there's a ton of lawsuits against any builder that you can ever think of. Right. And the reason why is because, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people assume that the plumber, the electrician, the AC guy, everybody works with DR Horton on their shirt, and that's not the case.
Right.
Understand that, you know what I'm saying, DR Horton and KB Homes does not own any plumbers. They do not own any electricians. They do not own any of these independent contractors that work for them. There's an agreement there that they are the subcontractor and they're going to do this work that they need to have done. And it is a human error business, regardless whether it's intentional or whether it's unintentional. There's a human error business. So then when you talk to an agent and an agent tells you, man, you need to make sure that you get an inspection done during the new construction process. A lot of people make the mistake, man, I'm gonna save them a few $100. You know what I'm saying? And it's brand new. I know they're doing what they're supposed to do. And then you end up in this situation here where, you know what I'm saying, they half-ass did what they're supposed to do. And now your family ends up sick. Now, if you care anything about your credit, you're continuously paying on a house that you can't even live in. A brand new house. And chances are, you know what I'm saying, you maxed out your budget for that house. So the payment that you're making is not small. You're making a large payment to pay for a house that you can't live in. And then you have to pay another payment, possibly, to live somewhere else where you feel safe. It's unnecessary. And all of this, thousands of dollars, months to go through the legal process to pay to sue somebody and then try to get some kind of resolve or try to get some kind of money back. Because at the end of the day, the bank doesn't care what you have going on with the builder. The bank only cares about, we lent you this money. We need to make sure that you make payment on that money. So you have to make all these thousands of dollars payments. You have to make thousands of dollars payments to the lawyers, to lawsuit, and then you possibly have to make payment towards wherever you're trying to live temporarily until you get this thing resolved. And all you had to pay was $600, $700, $800 or whatever to an inspector to inspect the property to make sure it was done the way that it was supposed to. You tell me if the trade is worth it, right?
Even with that being said, the inspector at the end can't, once that wall is put up, he can't see that. I would say you need to take it a step further if you're going to buy a new build and get it site inspected. You know, I would never buy a new build that's already up already. You don't know what happened. You need to get phase by phase. You need to get that inspected.
Here's the thing: everybody wants to say, you know what I'm saying, because it's a status thing, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm building my home from scratch, right?
Right.
There's no earlier time that you can actually get a builder involved to start inspecting the property even before the walls are closed in. You know what I'm saying? So like you know what I'm saying, if you're getting an inventory home, the home is already built, you're coming in, you get an inspector. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying, the inspector may be able to catch some stuff. That's fine. Whatever the case may be. Inspector ain't gonna be able to catch everything. But if you're getting a home built from scratch, a lot of people figure, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna see what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I'll be able to point out what they're doing wrong or whatever the case may be. But you have to understand, to an untrained eye, everything looks right.
Right.
If you don't understand what it is that you're looking at and what's done wrong, you're not going to be able to point out what's done wrong until after you move in, and then months, years down the line, you start to run into these big problems, and then good luck trying to get the builder to come back and resolve those, right? So the biggest thing is this, is that, you know what I'm saying, you know, people are trying to put in place stop losses in order to try to prevent all this stuff from happening. But a lot of people like to take the shortcut route. When you take the shortcut route, these are the things that actually happen. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it's no price that you can put on the health of you and your family. For example, the woman, you know what I'm saying, lost 2 babies. You know what I'm saying? Now, chances are she's going to go to court and get paid a shit ton of money. Understood that. She's going to win a large lawsuit. Now, if she's going to be able to collect, no idea. But the trauma that she had to go through losing those 2 babies is priceless. You can't put a price on that, regardless of what you get in a lawsuit. Like the trauma that you have to go through, that is crazy. So you know what I'm saying? My biggest thing is, don't take the shortcut. The shortcut seems so easy, but at the end of the day, just make sure it's done right. Just pay the money and make sure it's done right, and make sure you have a peace of mind for you and your family.
TJ made two comments. Let's start off with the one that kind of relates to this right fast. Saying that the companies that are building new homes are not using the correct materials to build them. That's a scam to me. Not necessarily materials, is the labor. Don't forget that it's regular people that's building these. And a lot of them, there is no certification for building a house. There is no, all right, I go 4 years and then I'm certified. I'm a certified house builder. Doesn't exist. These are just people that picked up the trade from learning from somebody else, learning from their dad, their partner. And can you drywall? Yeah, I can drywall. And that's how it is. And they drywall your house. And the big companies outsource this labor. So they might have the materials that D.R. Horton uses. But who's putting it together? You know, so what's the difference between skilled and unskilled? It's very, very nebulous. It's very, very dark. You know, there's a gray area. So you only as good. I can have a Lambo material, but if I put that Lambo together, you might not want to drive that thing because I don't know nothing about it. You know, so it's not just about the material; it's about who's putting it together. And that mind frame of that person that's putting it together. The mind frame of that person, it might just be to skip steps, take the shortcut. And you got to live there. And just that one little mistake, what they was talking about on this Fox News, they didn't seal it right. And that seal, that unsealed area leads to mold, which could kill you.
Problems. Correct. And then mold takes time. It takes time. So it's a slow killer.
Yeah, so really you need to bulldoze that thing and start over.
Hey, look, I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna jump out on the limb. I'm gonna jump out on the limb right here, B Dix. Let's get TJ on the line, bro. Let's get TJ on the line.
Right.
Hey, look, TJ, if you could, is there a way for him to private message you his email for the link?
I could put the link in the chat. Hold on a second. But
I don't know if you want to put it in the chat for everybody to jump on. You know what I'm saying? But if you can, if TJ can send you his email or something.
I mean, like I said,
we've been talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
They gotta come in. You gotta come in the what you call them first before the
and then you let him in.
Yeah, they can't just come in. I gotta let them in.
Oh, okay. Send TJ the link, man. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking to TJ. You know what I'm saying? Let's get TJ on the line.
Right. TJ, that's if you want to come on the line.
Get your hair fried, dyed, and slayed to the side. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Let's talk to you.
Right.
Let's get you on.
Right, but he had another one too. He said from the terrorist Trump put forward today. What do you guys think about thoughts on that? CNBC said that houses are going to go up. I mean, the tariffs. You got to understand what tariffs are for. It's not for. It's not for what you think. He's using it as a negotiation tool. I don't think, like I said, houses will go up more than what they are. I think with the inflation, more than is already going to be projected to go up. You know, I don't think the tariff is going to affect that. I think we need to do more manufacturing in the U.S. anyway. With the materials, I think we need to import less material, especially Chinese drywall. We don't need none of that stuff anyway. So I think if we start manufacturing stuff in the U.S., I think all that stuff will even out. I don't think houses going up any more than what they already projected to be. That's my argument on that. And I don't think the tariffs have anything to do with it. That's another thing. You need to start watching CNBC. You know, these made media. You know, the media. Don't forget Soros and all them on the same thing. So they gonna say anything to create uproar. You know, most of that is fake news, man. You know, so that's what I'm standing on there. NBC, MSNBC, CNN, ABC, trash. You know.
Man, the post the link, B. You know what I'm saying? Let's see where we can get him on.
I already
See where we
posted
get
one.
him.
I already posted one.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It's
okay.
on
Let's see
YouTube.
what
It's
we-
on Twitch. It's on everything. So let's go to this next one.
All right.
Figures is the new six figures. How much does it take to survive in America? $50,000 just to survive. Want to be able to live? It's $100,000, and that's for a single individual. If you're living anywhere near any of the coasts, $200,000 if you want to have a life where you get to travel and eat out, be able to enjoy your vacations and be able to have some level of discretionary spending. $300,000 if you want to have a family. That's a combined income. $450,000 if you want to be able to travel, not even first class, comfort plus type lifestyle, and being able to eat in 4- and 5-star restaurants. You're talking $1 million a year and more. So it used to be about having a 6-figure income. Nowadays, it's having a 7-figure income. 7 figures is the
Man, I got to play this again. This is so heavy.
new 6 figures. How much does it take to survive in America? $50,000 just to survive. Want to be able to live? It's $100,000, and that's for a single individual. If you're living anywhere near any of the coasts, $200,000 if you want to have a life where you get to travel and eat out, be able to enjoy your vacations and be able to have some level of discretionary spending. $300,000 if you want to have a family. That's a combined income. $450,000 if you want to be able to travel, not even first class, comfort plus type lifestyle, and being able to eat in 4- and 5-star restaurants. You're talking $1 million a year and more. So it used to be about having a 6-figure income. Nowadays, it's having a 7-figure income. 7 figures is the new 6 figures. How much?
I hope there's
That's
no
bananas. That's bananas.
I think that's
seven
accurate.
7 figures, you know what I'm saying, just to be able to live a decent life.
I think that's accurate. Because think about it. 50,000, that's the new kids make from fresh out of high school, entry level is 50,000. It used to be 30, 25 to 30 back in the days. 20 years ago. Now it's about 50. You know what I'm saying? That's about $4,500 a month. Add your taxes, that's about $3,500. That's entry level. You know what I'm saying? That's apartment, maybe a little ride, back and forth to work. That's it. That's surviving. 100,000 if you want, you single, you got a little, you know what I'm saying? You want a little money, to go out, kick it to the club. You need about that 100,000. You want a nice mortgage. That's about it. That's about right, man. 100,000. Cause think about it. After your taxes, you got that's about 70 in your pocket, 65, 70 in your pocket, right?
All right.
That's about $6,000 a month. Most people that's making 100,000 probably gonna have that BMW. I'm just talking about average. I'm not talking about living frugal.
I got
a BMW, $1,000 car note. They're gonna have the insurance, gas. You know what I'm saying? So. And they're gonna put a little something to the side. That's you want a family, with the wife and kids. I'm talking about doing it right, where I'm taking care of her and the kids. That's reasonable to say 300,000. And he said about 450 if you want to really. All right, we're gonna take the kids and we go to Disneyland 2-3 times a year, like you was talking about.
No way. No way.
Well, I don't agree with that. You don't need probably $1 million a year to be. I think $1 million a year. That's when you. All right. That's when you really. I think you took it overboard. But I think about 450, 400, 450 a year if you really want to travel with a family. I think that's about accurate. You could now. Can you do it
to travel with a family?
Now let me put more context on it. When I like to travel, I don't like to travel on a budget.
Okay.
I don't like to say, man, all right, all I got to spend is this $2,500. We're gonna have to, how much is that drink? Oh, how much is dinner? I don't like to do that.
Everybody getting waters. Everybody getting water.
Get waters. Nah, don't order that. I ain't trying to do that.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
I like the trade. It's different. There's levels. I'm out there, but am I having fun? I don't want to have a clock in my mind, a little meter in my mind on how much money I'm spending. So I've done that. I'll be out there, but I'm not really having fun. Damn, how much this? Damn, I got to do this. By the time I clock out, by the time I get out the hotel, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. They ain't having fun to me.
I got you.
So a vacation to me, if I have a family, gonna run you about 20, 25. I'm talking about where I ain't got no budget.
Hold on, whoa. We talking about 2025, what? $1,500 or $25,000?
$1,000
for a vacation, B?
For a vacation. Let me break it down. I'm talking about for the family, not for just me.
The $25,000 for the family, B?
Let me break it down, Larry. You went to Disney World a couple of years ago, right?
Hey, look, all I'm saying is you can take a whole cruise for $5,000 for the whole family, and they can eat as much as they want.
Then you go to buffets and stuff, though.
Huh?
You going to buffets and stuff.
On the cruise? What you mean? That's all you can eat on the cruise?
I'm talking about, I like to do it. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
What are we talking about? If we talking about doing it, what are we talking about?
All right, I'm talking 20 to 25. Let me break it down.
Okay, all right.
So I'm going to go out and go, like you said, comfort select. So we ain't going to just do economy. That's the flight by itself going to be with let's say I have a 3-piece. I have
you talking about comfort select or business select? Because it sounds like you're talking about business
comfort select, same thing. So
okay, all right.
Let's say I have a 5-piece. I have 3-piece kids and a wife. At 5 people.
Right. Okay.
Right there, the tickets a piece gonna be at least 5. That's 5 G's just for the flights. Am I lying?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. Depending on where you going, you got 5 people. You know what I'm saying? That's $500 a piece.
Nah, I'm talking about round trip.
Round trip, yes.
Right.
Where you going? All I'm saying is where you go. Who you going with?
I'm talking about an international.
That's $500 a piece.
Where's these?
You talking about international? Okay, my bad. International. Right. Okay, I already got you. Go ahead.
Right. So just that, the airfare by itself gonna be $5
Okay.
Let's talk about the resort.
But does it have to be international for you to go vacation? You can't go to like New York.
If I want to enjoy myself, because I ain't gonna. I've been to Florida a million times. I've been to California a million times. I'm talking about.
What about New York? New York, you got Colorado. You know what I'm saying? Go see Dion. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about for me, where I want to enjoy myself.
Gotcha. All right, go ahead.
I want, you know what I'm saying? So let me finish.
All right,
so the result, I'm not gonna want to have the kids stay with me in there. The kids gonna have their own room, and it got to be a suite. Like it got to be like, yeah.
How old is these kids? How old is these kids to have their own room?
You gonna have. So let me ask you this: you gonna have all the kids in the same room with you?
You motherfucking right.
No,
hey,
sir.
Look, how old is the kids? Well, if the kids ain't old enough to have their own room, I ain't even trusting them at 16 and 17 because they bound to do something stupid.
Nah, I'm gonna have the room connected to where we got a door in the middle, but I gotta have a suite. Cause me and mama gonna get busy.
Okay.
How you gonna have a vacation? Me and mama can't get busy.
Hey, y'all. Hey, how they do old school? Y'all kids go outside and play. Y'all go outside and play.
Oh man, I'm talking about where I can enjoy myself.
What? You enjoying yourself? Hey, look. Here's a few dollars. Y'all go down to the inside water park. Y'all go enjoy yourself. Me and mama be down in a minute.
Cut corners. I'm talking about where I ain't cutting no corners.
But I'm just saying, if you had to be on a budget, you could be on a budget. But B Dicks don't want to be on a budget. All right, I got you.
How I would want to do it. You can be. Can you vacation?
Go ahead.
Can you do that?
All right. Go ahead. All right, got you. I'm with you.
Be at a resort, and the kids gonna have their own room, so we got to get a suite.
Okay. Okay.
We're gonna have to get a suite.
Okay.
So a suite, if I'm talking about 7 days, that suite gonna be for both of us. That's gonna be about $500-600 at least on a low.
500-600 what? Per day?
A night, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I got you.
So you take that times 7.
Okay.
7 times 7, what?
7 times 7, 4,200.
Exactly. So we had 10 bands already.
Okay. All right.
You see what I'm saying? We already at 10. That's just for that and to lay your head.
That's personal preference.
But I'm talking about the way I want to do it.
Okay, all right, go ahead. I got you. I'm with you. Go ahead.
So now we talking rental car, eats. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking buffets. I'm talking about I want to go to nice restaurants where it's $20-$30 a plate.
Like steakhouses?
I'm going to steakhouses.
What kind of vacation is we talking about?
I'm talking about a real live vacation. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Where I want to go to the best of the best. I could go to Ryan's here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I can go to Corral here.
Okay.
I can go to Denny's here. I'm not trying to do that.
All right.
So this rental car eats. If I rent a car for 7 days, that's $1,000. You know what I'm saying? $100 a day. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna want to go for eats. Let's say for 5 of us. Let's say if I'm talking 3 meals a day and we spend $20 a plate, that's gonna be like let's say we spending $150 per meal times 3. And that's on that's on the low. That's not including tip. So let's say we talking like let's say $400-$500 a day on food, tips and all that, gratuity. Yeah, for 5 people.
Okay. All right.
For 5 people. So, and that include, all right, all the kids go, y'all want to go shopping. Y'all want to go buy something. We at this museum.
Shopping for what?
They gonna want to buy some shit. The wife gonna want to buy something. So you gonna go out there and the wife can't buy nothing. They can't buy no souvenir.
Then we just talk about, you know what I'm saying, the co-pilot, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? We got to be on the same page. If we ain't on the same page, you know what I'm saying, we ain't going.
Let's say I go to Disney World out there in Paris or something. So everybody want Mickey Mouse watches. So you're going to deny your kids these Mickey Mouse watches.
You motherfucking right. Because guess what a Mickey Mouse watch is going to be in 10 minutes? They're going to be playing with and the bitch is going to be over there on the side of the bed. And when we get ready to leave and go back to the U.S., guess what they're going to be? Right there on the side of the bed. Unless you remember them, then you be like, hey, man, how y'all gonna forget y'all Mickey Mouse watch? We done paid all that money for it. They don't give a damn about that Mickey Mouse watch. They done with it.
But it's
just the initial fad of it. It's just the initial fad of it. You know what I'm saying? They bashed at all that.
Right. So,
but okay, I'm with you in your scenario. All right. So we got the Mickey Mouse watches and all that. So
Mickey Mouse watches. You got the collectibles. You got wife gonna want to go shopping. Then I'm not just gonna go to what the kids gonna want to do. I'm gonna go out too.
Go out where?
I'm gonna go
to a club.
I'm gonna go out with the wife. I'm gonna go to Club 33.
Who gonna look after the kids, B? You gonna pay for a babysitter at that point?
Either the older one gonna watch it, or I'm gonna roll while they sleep. We gonna be back in a couple hours.
I need to know the age of the kids, because right now, you know what I'm saying, this shit is asinine. Ain't no mama gonna leave their kids with a random person while y'all go out, you know what I'm saying, enjoy yourselves over dinner. It ain't happening.
Right. This depends on how old the kid is. You got one teenager, hey, don't y'all leave this room. We'll be back a couple of hours. But I'm gonna want to go out. I'm definitely gonna hit that mall up. I'm definitely gonna hit some of the boutiques up. I'm gonna hit all of that. I don't want no meter in the back of my head on what I gotta spend. I'm gonna go spend and enjoy myself. It's gonna be 20 bands, man.
That's fucking bananas.
It's gonna be 20 bands.
That is fucking bananas.
Right. I broke it down to you.
But so you know what I'm saying? So you telling me that a family that doesn't have 20 bands saved up can't take a trip to
I'm not
Spain?
saying that. I'm saying for me, how I would want to do it is gonna cost me 20 bands. That's why I can see 400,000, 450,000 a year if you want to go on vacation and stuff. Because I'm gonna take about 2-3 vacations. That's gonna be 60, 70.
$20,000 a piece on vacation? Where are you going?
At least. Because I know by myself, I'm gonna go and spend about 8 to 10 on a vacation. The way I like to do stuff by myself.
So unless you can spend 8 to 10, you know what I'm saying, you ain't going on vacation.
Let me ask you this: how much when you went to Disneyland? How much you spent with the family all together?
The tickets was high as giraffe pussy. I can tell you that. So we was let's just round it off to 6, and then we had the 6,000-7,000.
That's what I'm saying. 6,000-7,000. That's you kind of like you did economy though, right?
Economy what? We took economy flights for ship tour. But we did Southwest. We did Southwest on the flights.
Right.
We did an Airbnb. So you know what I'm saying, we stayed with the family. And then you know what I'm saying, you had the goddamn tickets over there at Walt Disney. It was like $160, $170 a person.
Right.
And it was 3 of us.
Right. But you ain't go to Club 33. You ain't, go to no 5-star restaurant.
I'm 40 plus, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to go to no club.
I'm
if anything, you know
about,
what I'm saying, we going to a little lounge or something like that, have a couple drinks, take it on back to the crib. But you know what I'm saying, if we at the crib with the family, we at the Airbnb with the family, we got liquor there. Everybody chilling, you know what I'm saying, in the pool, whatever, the kids having a good time. We watching football, we watching basketball games and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? We was fine.
Right, but see, that's different though. See, I like to do when I go on vacation, I want to do something I can't do at home. I don't want to, I don't drink, so that ain't fun to me to sit there and I could be inside the house at my house.
But you can go to the club at the crib too.
No, but so I can't go to Club 33 at the crib.
Club 30, what is Club 33? What are you gonna do at Club 33, B? You gonna pull a third wheel home with you? You know what I'm saying? Like what are you looking for at Club 33?
My thing is,
guess what you're gonna do at the club? You're gonna listen to music and you're gonna get drinks. And you can do that at the crib for free. So what are we gonna pay for?
If I'm gonna go, if I was to do the family thing, I'm gonna have my gal dress up. I'm gonna dress up, and we're gonna experience the Club 33. We're gonna, and that's gonna be a memory we can talk about, man. We was out there 33, man. That's what you do, create memories, right?
Man, remember we was at the Airbnb taking shots with the family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and such got towed up, you know what I'm saying? They had to go upstairs and go to sleep. It's the same memories, man.
What's the difference between Airbnb and your house?
What you mean?
Is this what's the difference between an Airbnb and your house? You can do that at the house.
The difference is 1, we in a different city. 2, we in a different house. 3, we with family. You know what I'm saying? And then 4, you know what I'm saying? We create memories.
I'm different. If I want to do, I don't want to. If I'm on vacation, if I'm a travelist, I don't want to do something I can do at my own house.
We just go to the club. You can go to the club at the house, B. That's the same
I can't
thing.
go to Club 33 at the house.
Man, hey, look, what does Club 33 provide for you that you can't get at the house? That's what I want to know.
Well, it's a certain ambiance. It's a certain lighting. It's a certain atmosphere. It's a certain.
So you're paying for lighting.
You're paying for the whole atmosphere, everything. The restaurant, you're paying for lighting and atmosphere and the experience.
It is, but what I'm saying is that you're paying for the restaurant because nobody wants to cook. Nobody wants to go through the rigmarole of cooking. I want somebody to cook for me and serve me. But at the club, what are you getting different than you can't get at an Airbnb?
Well, I could go in there at Club.
You could definitely get better drinks because at the club you're paying twice as much for half the liquor.
I just want to pull up VIP, have a table. You know what I'm saying, and look important. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, that just proves the point, man. So you spending money for what you think, you know what I'm saying, the outside people. You spending money because, you know what I'm saying, you worried about what outside people, oh, they got a section over there. They must be important. Who the hell cares
That's what
about
you go
that?
over. Yeah, I mean, different strokes for different folks. But I can see my point is the whole point of what we're saying is I can see where you could spend that much money on vacation easily.
I can see where you can spend that and more. I can see where you can spend definitely more, but it's definitely the mindset that's going to allow you to spend that.
My thing is, if I'm gonna go on vacation, I'm gonna go and do it. I'm not just gonna go a half step because I didn't try both. I did the half step. It's not the same experience if you go and you ain't got a budget. You just go and do your thing. I got a couple of rules. If I go out of town, even if I go out of state, I don't eat at chain restaurants.
Oh, now 100% I get that.
Right.
If I go out of town, you know what I'm saying, I'm not eating at no Chili's.
Yeah.
Or no McDonald's or no shit like that.
Right.
Like, I can do that shit at the crib. I'm not doing that. Now 100% I get that.
Right. I'm not doing stuff I could normally do because why am I even here if I could do this in Houston?
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I'm gonna pay for the experience of doing something that I've never done before.
Correct.
I'm gonna eat it somewhere I can't even pronounce what's on the menu. That's where I'm gonna eat.
Well, you can't pronounce this on the menu.
Yeah, I'm gonna pronounce. I don't even. Damn, what's the name of this? They said it's good. Let's go try it out.
Hey, look, you can get some appetizers. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to pronounce that in a different country.
But now that's another thing. I eat feast style when I go out and eat. I don't eat like you get number one, and I don't eat like that. You've been out like that. You see how I eat.
What you mean you don't eat like that? You know what I'm saying? If we go somewhere, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? If
you see how I eat, I order my 3-4 things, and I just nibble off of each one of them, and I won't see what's good. You see how I eat? I don't just do one. All right, let me get that, and I hope that's good. Nah, let me get this. Let me get this. Let me get this. Let me get this. I'm gonna eat off of it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. But you know what I'm saying, what happens is that if you go as a family, let me get this, let me get that, let me get that. Everybody gonna nibble off of it because I ain't gonna eat it all.
Right.
That's on a budget.
I'm gonna just order more.
I'm not gonna nibble all this and say, hey, look, I'm gonna take all this shit to go.
Right.
Like, why would I do that?
I'm gonna nibble off of it. I'm gonna take it to go, but I'm gonna just order more of it if I got the family. So it like TJ said, I'm for sure gonna spend at least $500 a day if I go to eat with a family. We gonna eat.
You gotta eat.
Right.
You gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna nitpick what you eat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whatever the case may be. But you ain't gonna go out here and order some damn $150 ribeyes. Like, we ain't doing that.
We might do that.
I'll get the fuck out of here, B. Your goddamn 6-year-old kid say he want a goddamn $100-something ribeye, and you gonna be like, all right, go ahead.
Nah, I'm gonna order one for mama. I'm gonna order one for me, and then I'm gonna order one for the kid.
And they gonna split that one.
They're gonna split that one.
Shit. Hell with that. Ain't no kid eating no ribeye like that. You better get on that appetizer and order them chicken tenders.
Yeah, see that. I don't roll like that.
Order them chicken tenders.
I don't roll like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Look, TJ agree with that.
He said you got to add inflation. Yeah, I mean, stuff high nowadays, man. But yeah, I could definitely agree with that stuff, man. Like I said, I think the $1 million ain't the same as it was back then. I think 100,000, new 10,000. I think you just got to up your speed. You got to up your game and get used to it. Like $1 million ain't what it was back in the day. They said just in the last 50 years, they went from 24,000 black millionaires. Now they got like 200-something thousand black millionaires. So a million ain't what it used to be back in the day.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's inflation. You know what I'm saying? Prices are changing drastically damn near every year. You know what I'm saying? Damn near every month. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, you know what I'm saying, the value of a dollar is going down. Hell, I just went to Vegas and realized, you know what I'm saying, what we used to spend at Vegas, it doesn't mean shit now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. 40, 50,000, you can't do that on 40, 50,000. Even if you wanted to smudge it budget a vacation, you still gonna be 35, 4,000. That's on the smudget budget. That's in the States somewhere.
Man,
You're gonna spend $3,500 and easily on a week's vacation.
On a cruise, yeah, go on a week cruise. It's fraction of that, and you eat as much as you want to. B, you can eat them out of house and home. You know what I'm saying? Eat as much as you want to. When the last time you been on a cruise, B? When the last time you been on a cruise, B?
I don't want to be on a cruise, you know, because you got all
That's
the
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. If you trying to vacation on the budget, go on a cruise. I'm telling you.
That ain't a vacation to me at that point.
How is that not a vacation? They got different ports where you can go and experience different things. You can eat as much as you want to. You got to stay there. Why wouldn't you go on a cruise?
I don't know.
When the last time you been on a cruise, B? Have you ever been on a cruise, B?
Oh man, it's been some years since I've been on a cruise. About 27 years, man.
You
the last time I went on a cruise, it was super duper ratchet. The Carnival cruise is ratchet.
I was about to say, you probably went on Carnival. Right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, nothing against Carnival. I love my people. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you got to go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? You got to do another cruise line and go on a cruise and experience that because it's completely different.
Yeah, but it's just TJ said I went on a cruise 2 years ago. You could easily
come on, TJ. $3K.
You could spend $3K.
How many people went with you, TJ? How many people went with you? That's what I want to know.
I mean, it's ratchet though.
No, but what I'm saying, B, is that it depends on what cruise line you go on. The cruise line that you went on, I get it. Right. I get it. You're gonna get a contact high and everything. You got to go on a different cruise line. Go on a
it's like you travel with some house guests that you can't get rid of for a week. That's how a cruise is.
No, go on Royal Caribbean, you know what I'm saying, then tell me your experience then. That's what I'm saying. Don't prejudge it. Just go on Royal Caribbean and tell me.
I was thinking about looking at a cruise, but every time I think of the cruise I went on, like, man, that was a horrible experience, man.
B, all I'm trying to do is get you out your mindset. You know what I'm saying? Get you out the comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? Go on Royal Caribbean, you know what I'm saying? And then come back and tell me that shit was ratchet. That's all I want to hear. Hey, look, if you tell me the Royal Caribbean was ratchet, I won't bother you again about a cruise. I won't say shit else.
Let's hit this next clip, man. Let's see where I'm at. Let's see. Let's go ahead and hit this one right here.
All right.
So I still got a couple more, man. I still got a few more. Let's go ahead and hit this next one.
Not put your pants against that. Oh my goodness. Stop right there. Major termite infestation. But check this out. Termites will come out to the surface and they stop. He just bought this house, folks. How long ago did you guys buy this? In October. Did it have a termite inspection?
Yes.
It did?
Yes.
And what did they say?
That it passed.
Did the realtor recommend their pest guy?
Yes.
They did.
Yes.
What did they say?
That they had a guy that comes out and does all their
Inspections. Okay, and I'm going to have you lift up be careful. Lift the bed and the box spring up. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Stop right there. Oh my goodness. Be careful, dude. I've never seen nothing like this. Be careful.
Yeah, so I wanted to put that on there because couple things. Number one, be careful the realtor that you choose, and that's why people get sued because they go with their recommendations. They'll give you somebody just so they can pass the house. Pass the inspection so they can get their commission because they all in cahoots with one another. You know, sometimes you want to separately have somebody else or somebody independent, especially when it comes to like termite older houses, especially if you in Texas, Louisiana, Florida, man, with the Formosa termites. You definitely want to have that inspected. So many people skip that step as far as when you buy resale, they skip the termite. You know, they just want to go to structure integrity. They don't look at the termite at all, unless you VA, and then VA is mandatory. So they only do what's mandatory. So a lot of people skip that because they think they're gonna save that $300-400, but like we just seen, as $1 million worth of termite damage. And once you purchase. Don't forget that wood like potato chips to the termites. You know, They eat that. You just mess around, you go through the flow, you know, because it's hollowed out, you know. So we skip a lot of steps. Is the point? What I'm saying. What you got on there?
So the first thing that I have on it is that, you know what I'm saying, understand that the real estate agent is separate from the inspector. What a lot of people don't necessarily take into account is that, you know what I'm saying, this is human-based service, right? So what happens is that, you know what I'm saying, they have a standard guy that, you know, typically does a good job for them. For whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, he has something going on in his life. He missed the fact that there was termites there, for whatever the case may be. And now the real estate agent gets a bad rep because the inspector missed a large component of the actual thing. So one, you know what I'm saying, what I feel like is that, you know what I'm saying, you have to understand that even though they recommend these people, it's human error or whatever the case may be. Even though that's a big error, it shouldn't reflect on the actual agent, because the agent is not the one that's actually doing the inspection. The agent is banking on the inspector having a professional mindset and a professional expertise in order to be able to point this out. But because the agent missed this, or because the inspector missed this, the agent is going to get the blow back because they missed the actual termite inspection. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying, you have to take it to everything into account, because it's not 100% the agent's fault. I'm not saying the agent doesn't have any fault in it. I'm just saying it's not 100% the agent's fault, which I do think agents get blowback from it. That's the first thing. The second thing is no way the inspector should have missed that. They should be able to go back to the inspector and say, hey, look, we paid you for a service. You missed this thing drastically. There should be some way that we should be able to get our money back, or be able to do something to actually resolve this, whatever the case may be. But this is an actual messed up situation. They did what they were supposed to do as the buyers. They got an inspector. The inspector just happened to miss it, whatever the case may be. But I do think, you know what I'm saying, it happens in all kinds of situations. If it ain't pest inspection, it's something else that gets missed in the inspection. It just happens. But you just gotta, you know, deal with it. Deal with it, because at the end of the day, it's your house. It's what you're signing off on. It's what you're signing to be in, whatever the case may be. Go back to the builder. Talk to the builder about it, whatever the case may be, because the builder is supposed to get that stuff treated. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I mean, it's a lot to take from that. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it's just a messed up situation.
Gotcha. Like PJ said, man, when I get a house, I'm getting 4 inspections. These people just want out your money. For sure, man. Do it. I mean, especially if it's a new build, at least 4. I would get inspected every phase if I get a new build. But if it's a resale, you definitely want to get a reputable inspector and a termite inspection. So that's at least 2. For sure.
Yeah.
Let's run this one. I wanted to run a ratchet one, but let me run this one, then I'll run a ratchet one. You know what I'm saying? So because again, this is kind of going to the theme line. Let's break it up to monotony. Let's go a little bit more entertaining. You know.
Good morning, New Yorkers. Looking for another beautiful day here in the city. Clouds to start us off here. Temperatures staying in the high 40s. Tomorrow's
Stop it.
will be in the 60s.
Stop it.
Beaches staying around 62. Good morning, New Yorkers. Looking for another beautiful day here in the city. Clouds to start us off here. Temperatures staying in the high 40s. Tomorrow's forecast will be in the 60s.
$1,200 a month in New York. That's what they get you, a little broom closet.
Look, but here's the thing, though. You know what I'm saying? You have to think about the cost of living of where you're at, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. If you're in New York, you're getting paid. So for us in Texas, you know what I'm saying, we're like, oh my God, they're paying $1,200 for that? Right. For that Cracker Jack box? But if you think about the expenses and the cost of living in New York is getting 2 or 3 times paid more than what we getting paid here. Right. So $1,200 is not going to actually get you far in New York.
Right.
But that's been the consensus for God knows how long. But you know what I'm saying, it's just amazing to actually see what $1,200 will get you year over year, just because you know what I'm saying, we live in Texas. $1,200 will get you a lot in Texas. And even these days, you know what I'm saying, $1,200 won't get you a lot. Even a 1-bedroom efficiency, you know, in Texas, a decent efficiency will cost you $2,000 or more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if you're in New York, how can you expect it's equivalent to being in South Park somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Or getting an apartment downtown or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Where you're just trying to survive. It's not going to get you the same amount of money. Right. So even though it's a shock to you, you know what I'm saying, as far as what you get for $1,200 in New York, it doesn't surprise me because I understand the cost of living in New York. $1,200 is nothing.
Right. Yeah, like $1,200, man. Like I said, you basically can't even put a twin up in there. That's basically a twin mattress you bump in your head, you know, somewhere. That's basically somewhere. And you got to brush your teeth. There's no kitchen in there. That's basically like a storage closet for $1,200 with a window.
If I'm not mistaken, that was a shared bathroom, wasn't it?
Shared bathroom too. And the
Didn't
bathroom,
he go down the hallway?
I go down the hallway. Like the bathroom's so small, like I probably couldn't even get up in there. I probably had to, you know, I'd be in the hallway just pointing. I'd be pointing at the toilet from the hallway somewhere.
And you in a dorm room at that point. You know what I'm saying? Look, I gotta have make sure I have my flip flops on. Go take a shower. That's all that is.
Yeah, my dorm room was bigger than that. You know, man. My man TJ said Dallas created $1,200 out here in Dallas for sure. That's a nice 1-bedroom out there in Dallas. You know, Houston as well. Like I said, you get a nice 1-bedroom for $1,200. Yeah, you know, New York and LA is way more expensive than
way more expensive.
Way more expensive than everything. Let's go because I got a few more. I was scrolling down, man. I got a bunch. So let me go ahead and run these.
Roll through them.
Let's run through these right quick.
Well, yeah, TJ, you getting on or what?
Community like no other in the country. Castleberry Hill is what we're talking about, nestled next to downtown Atlanta. But this neighborhood was truly special. This is where they have the highest concentration of Black landowners and entrepreneurs in the country.
It's a community like no other in the country.
What's happening here in Castleberry Hill really is the largest concentration of Black-owned dirt, Black-owned operators, and a Black clientele in the United States.
The colorful and creative neighborhood took its name from young merchant Daniel Castleberry. In the 1800s, it was known as Snake Nation, a ragtag group of bootleggers, gamblers, prostitutes, and literal snake oil peddlers. And now it's considered the largest concentration of Black-owned businesses in the country.
It has really gone from this sort of sleepy industrial neighborhood to this kind of about to happen residential neighborhood to this very happening business community.
This mural of the late Herman J. Russell pays homage to him for transforming the area. Russell built one of the nation's most profitable minority-owned business empires. The Atlanta businessman inspired other Black entrepreneurs to invest in Castleberry Hill. Since 1984, Alfonso Cross's family has owned 3/4 of an acre on Peters Street.
There's a lot to be said for being part of a fabric of Black land ownership and Black operators that allows us all to look each other in the eye and know that we're all sort of part of something, a part of a story that's bigger than ourselves and will certainly continue on for decades and decades to come.
A display of cultural unity in this neighborhood where Black business owners have found a place to thrive.
It's a very flourishing Black and diverse, culturally diverse community that really is doing its best to take a very creative step forward here in Atlanta and also providing a really great blueprint for other communities of color around the continental United States.
This is a community like no other in the country. Castleberry Hill is what
Castleberry Hill.
Right. So
Castleberry Hill.
Man, TJ said line environment, I can't get on. Probably at work or something, man. Might be watching us from the job or something, man. So
nah, shit, I get it. I get it.
So,
We trying to get you on, TJ. You know what I'm saying? See, one of these times we get you on.
but yeah, I mean, I like Atlanta. I like what they got going on. I like the communal sense of Atlanta, what they got going on. So, yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of neighborhoods that's like that though. There's Baldwin Hills, and there's a bunch of other stuff out there. So, out there in what is it? The DMV area that's got one of the best, the biggest black-owned communities as well, like rich black-owned communities out there in like Maryland. So
Yep.
but let me go ahead and play this one. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm pretty sure I'm interested in your take on this one right here. I know this one went viral.
Look,
And,
here's the thing before you roll out one, you know what I'm saying? Castleberry here, you know what I'm saying? Anytime, and I don't care where it is, Atlanta, New York, Colorado, Iowa, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? It's always a positive thing to understand that Black people understand the value of ownership. You know what I'm saying? Ownership of land. You know what I'm saying? If we can come together as a community and own something, you know what I'm saying, it's much more valuable than sitting around complaining. So, you know what I'm saying? I absolutely love that video. Love what they have going on in Atlanta. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other spots within the country, within other states, you know what I'm saying, where the exact same thing is going on, but it's just not, publicized as of yet. But I just, you know what I'm saying, I'm just glad to see that, you know what I'm saying, we're starting to get there where we're understanding the value of ownership.
So I did one positive. Okay, like I said, now let's go one viral that went crazy. Let's see.
I've been surrounded, help you on all sides.
What the crap?
I don't fight by myself. When I needed your help, Jesus, you came.
Okay. I have no words right now. Wow.
I know that one went viral a couple of weeks ago.
I sure hate that was in Houston.
That was right down on 45, one of the busiest highways. Busiest highways in the nation.
Man, 45 keeps some shit. And then 45 keep traffic. As if traffic on 45 wasn't enough, you know what I'm saying? They gonna hold up traffic.
Right. Right.
I'm all about having fun. You know what I'm saying? It could have been somebody's birthday. I don't know what the situation was. It could have been somebody's birthday. They just out having a good time. You know what I'm saying? They drinking or whatever the case may be. But there has to be some kind of decorum about, you know what I'm saying, the fun that you have. And holding up the traffic on a major highway is definitely not the type of fun that you want to be having. Because, you know what I'm saying, when you think about other people and where other people have to go, and the traffic that would have caused just because of that little small incident right there. I don't know how long it was, but because, you know what I'm saying, it caused, you know what I'm saying, cars to stop. It caused traffic. It's unnecessary, man. As if I-45 doesn't have enough damn traffic on it to begin with. Just off other stupid shit.
I want to say, first of all, it's not new. When I was a kid, we did not quite to this extent, but we out there freaking Atlanta 98, holding up traffic.
That's exactly what that remind me of. But you know what I'm saying, you in 45 going down to Galveston, it's standstill traffic anyway. Right. It's traffic anyway. So you know what I'm saying, the fact that you get out and start dancing, you ain't doing nothing different because you're sitting in traffic.
Right.
But on flowing traffic,
right. Now that was
to stop traffic like that, B? Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm not. Again, I'm just setting this up. I'm not by any means advocating for that type of behavior. However, we got to realize it's a perpetual cycle. Like we did it as when we were kids and never corrected it. So now we got a new generation of people that's want to top what we do. And then, whatever scene that they seen, they want to do even more because the dopamine, as you keep doing more of the dopamine, you got to do more to get that same dopamine hit. So it's getting more and more outrageous with it. So because of social media and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's I don't want to even go down a rabbit hole, but if I find that the difference between us and other cultures, we gotta be out loud with it, where we gotta involve other people in our quote unquote fun. I think other cultures they more, I sit around and drink, I sit around and do drugs with my friends, and they're more quiet with it, with their destruction. I wonder why we got to involve everybody or burden anybody else with our stopping traffic. I gotta shut down I gotta shut down the whole, because I'm upset with somebody. I gotta shut down the whole restaurant. I'm acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? I wonder why you gotta involve everybody else with your foolishness. I think we the only one to do that. If you're going to self-destruct by any means, it's your life, self-destruct on your own, but don't include anybody else in it. That's all I got to say.
I really think, I'm saying, it becomes it's an infectious drug where, I'm saying, we become addicted to attention. Right. So we do these crazy things like this, I'm saying, because we want the attention. We want to go viral like this, I'm saying. We want to be like, hey, look, that was us. That was us out there. They recorded. We went viral. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the way, I'm saying, we necessarily have to get attention or want to get attention. You know what I'm saying? If we want to have a good time with our peoples, whatever the case may be, we can do that. But we don't have to do it like this. That's bananas.
I got a few more, so let me. I know I keep saying that, but shit, I'm running through them now. So,
hey, go for it.
Houses.
So you're a home builder.
Home builder.
And how much money do you make per year as a home builder?
Well, past 2.5 years, I built about 50 homes, and each home I build is about $2 million. So it's about $100 million past 2.5 years.
Wow. And how long have you been building homes for?
About 5 years.
And how did you get into this? Tell us your story, your upbringing.
Man, I was a wild kid growing up, went to prison, changed my life. One of the books told me to write down the 3 richest people that you know. I wrote them down. 2 of them were in real estate. One of them was in oil. So I said, hey, let's do real estate. So I chose real estate as my path. I read books for 5 years straight on real estate while I was in the penitentiary. Once I got released, I hit the ground running.
Wow. Now, do you feel like reading all those books were a key factor to all your success?
Reading is definitely a key factor. A lot of people out here, they don't read, and that's why society is the way they are.
Now, you said you build homes, correct? Can you give me an example of a home you build and how much it costs and the pricing? Can you explain?
Yeah, as you can see behind me, we got a couple, actually 3 multi-million-dollar homes. We're going to sell these at $2 million each. I bought the land for $575,000. We got the construction budgets at $700,000, closing costs and commissions and stuff like that. So we're looking at about $400,000 to $500,000 each profit on each one of these homes.
Now, don't you need a lot of money to start building homes? Like, where do you get all this money from?
Need to get started. There's 3 ways you can do it. You can borrow the money. You can partner with somebody with money, or I can teach you how to get it off a credit card.
Off a credit card?
Yep. I can teach you how to get it right off a credit card. You can send it directly from your credit card to the title company. I build multi-million-dollar houses.
So you're a home builder.
Home builder.
Is he capping or rapping?
Rapping.
Right.
Rapping. I know old boy, you know what I'm saying? He has a YouTube channel that he just started not too long ago. I've seen several of his videos, you know what I'm saying? And he's legit, bro. He's legit. But what he doesn't tell you, know what I'm saying, is that when he actually got started, he came out of jail and he partnered with a friend of his. And that partner introduced him to a banking relationship, to where, you know what I'm saying, he was actually able to build a relationship and take the money that he got, take the money that he got from the projects that he partnered with in order, you know what I'm saying, and then was able to kind of leverage that into deals that he was able to do on his own. But the biggest thing and the number one thing that you have to understand is that, you know what I'm saying, he did it through partnerships. He actually had a partner that actually was able to help him build that relationship, actually able to build him a home, and then he was able to put his name on it. Now he has a track record. Now it's not, hey, look, you know what I'm saying, you know, I partnered on this deal here, or whatever the case may be. I was able to make X amount of dollars on this. It's a project that I did, right? You know what I'm saying? And then when you have that banking relationship and the banker knows that you was part of that project, every time that he dealt with you, you was straight up, you was honest, you had integrity, whatever the case may be. Now it comes to a part where you're able to spread your wings and build your own project, do your own thing based upon what you did through the partnership. You're able to do that because you've built confidence within the bank. But I think for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, they figure that they have to do it on their own, and you don't necessarily have to do it on your own. There's nothing wrong with building a partnership. I think for a lot of people, we get hung up with, okay, we're gonna make $100,000 on this project. I don't want to split it. I don't want to split $100,000 with B Dix. I want the $100,000 for myself, right? So I want to try to do this on my own. And I may not be able to do it on my own, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have the track record. I don't have the funds. I don't have whatever it is the case may be that the bank is looking for. I don't have that, but I want to try to do it on my own. And then that's going to lead you to a road of heartache. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, he was able to partner straight out of jail, build relationships, build a cookie cutter process that he could actually follow over and over and over again. Now I'm able to branch out. When I branch out, I have a track record. So then the bank believes in me. The bank's able to lend me money because, you know what I'm saying, I have the history there. So then when I do projects, they're not going to ask me questions. Okay, you did this before. We're going to lend you the money. You have a successful project. Okay, cool. You finish that. You do another project. We're willing to lend you money on that. And then now he's able to the point where, you know what I'm saying, he's actually taking on mentees where he's traveling through different states, different cities, helping people, you know what I'm saying, actually build homes, whatever the case may be, just because of the groundwork that he laid. So I think with partnerships, you know what I'm saying, it gets a bad connotation because, you know what I'm saying, everybody wants to be greedy. Everybody wants the funds for themselves. But at the end of the day, you have to see the long game, not the short game. In his situation, you know what I'm saying, he was able to build a multi-million-dollar life for himself because he was able to partnership. I'm willing to give up some in the beginning for the long game so I can gain all the money in the end. And I think, you know what I'm saying, it was a perfect example. What he explained right there and what he is doing is truly what he's doing. It's rapping. He does that. You know what I'm saying? You can look at his YouTube video and tell that he actually does that. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, we need help to get the ball rolling. It's nothing wrong with asking for help. It's nothing wrong with taking a small percentage. You're going to pay one way or the other. You're going to pay through School of Hard Knocks, or you're going to pay through a partnership where you're actually able to learn a process that you can duplicate for the rest of your life.
Gotcha. With that being said, CJ says cap. I mean, is it exaggerated? Who knows? But can it be done? Yeah, absolutely. It can be done. A lot of people have to have the misconception, like he said. I like the way he broke down. Like, you don't have to have a lot of money. You could easily borrow. That's what I do for a living. You easily borrow the money. And you don't have to have a whole bunch of money in order to borrow money because, you know, people look at the project, especially with hard money. You know, I'm doing a loan right now. Like, guys buying it, you know, for 200,000, taking it and dumping like 200,000 in it, and it's gonna be worth 500,000. You know, so you could, you know, chill in it for a year and then cash out that 100,000. You know, you got you don't have to have the 200,000 to dump in it. The bank will lend you the money.
Correct.
You
But
know,
you gotta
so-
have the wherewithal, you know what I'm saying, for the bank to feel confident in that.
right. But that's why it goes. It gets to the point, like I said, you got to have something established. You're not gonna get rich without something. You got to have a start point, but you got to laser focus on that start point. Whether it's all right, I need to work 2 years in order to establish my credit and establish a work history in order for me to get a price to start getting my first property. Whether it's that or whether I need to stack about 10, 15 grand, to have the closing costs for my first fix and flip. So I need to laser focus on that and get some flips where I can start off on that. But some kind of way, you got to get started from something.
You got to
And
get started.
get that part out the mud and then grow from there. The problem is we get that out the mud. We only think for today. We get it out the mud. We'll go on these vacations and stuff. You get it out the mud. Then instead of taking that 15 grand, putting it to a house, we put it to butter. I'm gonna go get a chain for the girls, and I'm gonna go ahead and get these rims for the car to make it look good. And
Correct.
you never get out of that cycle. You're gonna have to, Gary Vee said all the time, eat crap for 2 years, eat caviar the rest of your life. You're gonna have to take something and sacrifice to get that jump start. With this particular guy, he partnered with somebody, but we all know in our particular community, ain't too many people gonna want to partner just because of the way we look, our appearance. He got a different persuasion than us, so people might be more apt to give him a chance and partner and give some money. We don't have that opportunity, so we're gonna have to get it out the mud, get something started, get that little nest egg going, and then take that and then flip it and do your own. And a lot of times, I think E40 said this best is that people want these jump starts, but you got to realize it's up to you to keep the car running. So if somebody do give you a jump, you still got to keep the car running. You see what I'm saying?
Man, they talk about all the time where, you know what I'm saying, you have these people that are willing to help you out, right? You know what I'm saying? You have for example, you know what I'm saying, just kind of the first thing that comes to mind. You have the LeBrons, right? You know what I'm saying? LeBron was destined to be a millionaire from the time that he actually got out of high school. The people that was around him could choose to, hey, look, let me leverage and let me learn what you have. Let me partner in what you have in order to gain the experience so that I can take and go to the next level. So then now, you know what I'm saying, he took a clique of people that he had around him, and now they were able to partner with LeBron in order to leverage the knowledge in order to be able to create their own lane. So you know what I'm saying, you have the Rich Pauls, you know what I'm saying, that was able to become an agent because they were able to sit there and say, okay, with LeBron, I need to learn everything that they're doing. With negotiations, how does that work? How does that process work? Everything like that. I'm not just here just because you're cutting me a check. I'm not here to be a leech. I'm here to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look, you have this agent. I want to be a shadow of this agent so that I can create a lane for myself. I want to be a partner so that I can be valuable in your life. I'm not just here to be leeching on for you to cut me a check every single month. You have the Rich Pauls. There's plenty of people that LeBron has brought along the way, and they've created a lane for themselves just because they didn't take the time just to be a leech. Just, hey, look, I'm just going to be a person that's on your payroll, a person that, you know what I'm saying, as long as you make money, I can make money. I want to be a person that actually leverage experience, leverage the knowledge of people around you so that I can create a lane for myself, which is exactly what he did. He was like, look, I came out of jail. I'm not here to sit here and be like, okay, well, look, let me just sit here and put my name on this project. And then, you know what I'm saying, absolutely do nothing. What he did was he put his name on a project and he actually did the work. When it comes to checking on contractors, making sure shit gets done on time, whatever the case may be, This guy was able to do it because he was able to learn a lot more. So then when I'm able to move out on my own, I understand the process. I understand what it takes from A to Z. I have a relationship with not only the bank, I have a relationship with the contractor. The same contractors that you use, they saw you, they saw me. I was there. I wasn't just sitting at home laying in bed like, hey man, what's going on with the project? Da 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 da. They saw me at the project every single day. I put in the work. So then therefore I was able to leverage that in order to increase the health, the wealth and the health of my actual self. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. I think a lot of people think that I just want to leech. Hey, look, as long as you make it and I'm here with you, I'm going to make it. And that's not necessarily the case. So, you know what I'm saying? I think it's a lot to be learned from this guy right here. And I only think it's a portion of what he can actually teach that was shown through this video. But I think if you check out his YouTube video, you'll be able to understand that, hey, look, he put in a lot more work than he actually put on in this video. And, you know, it's not a misconception that he was able to get to the level that he is now, but he was able to put in the work, which is what a lot of people don't want to do. Everybody want to lay back, you know what I'm saying? I want the checks to come knock at me on the front door. And that's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah, like you said, yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know about him personally. I know you follow him a little bit more, but I could believe that it could happen. Yes, there's avenues out there, to actually make a lot of money in real estate. However, you got to have the connections, you got to have the know-how. Like you said, he basically had mentorship in order to get to that level. Yeah, can you do it? Yeah, absolutely.
But now, here's the thing is that, you know what I'm saying, just to add to that, it doesn't necessarily have to be a builder. If you want to be an electrician and you want to learn electricity, you know what I'm saying, and how to do that, whatever the case may be, how to build your own company, you can do the same thing. If you want to be a plumber, you want to do the same thing. If you want to be a framer, you can do the same thing. But
Right.
the point of the matter is that, you know what I'm saying, nothing's going to come knocking to you at the front door. You got to put in the work, period.
Gotcha.
Weddington Hills. Taylor Sanders says it was 2020. She admits she owed dues, according to HOA records, $400.
They said it hadn't been paid for a year.
The HOA sent her multiple letters. She says she never got them. Then things snowballed. In February 2021, the board got a lien on her property. Then in April, it sent her this letter saying Sanders owed about $1,200 and that I was going to start foreclosure proceedings.
I thought it was a joke.
It wasn't. According to county records, her 3,300 square foot home sold for, look, $49,000.
Yes.
She says just like that, it was gone.
Oh my God, it's devastating for my children. I don't wish this on anyone.
Records show the person who bought the house turned around and sold it 5 months later for, get this, $850,000.
So just the beginning, I want to educate other people. I want to make sure they know about it. I want them to know their rights.
Weddington Hills. Taylor Sanders.
So I don't know. I want to know who her attorneys are, like to let that slide cascade to that. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think that story is kind of, they're leaving out a lot of details. No way you could get to that without the foreclosure. All right, if they're gonna foreclose, or how you still in the house? How is somebody gonna buy your house and then sell it without, anybody knowing it with somebody still living in there? If you got a squatter in there, if they're taking away your rights, then how are they gonna move that fast? So I think this is more of a fear thing. They're leaving out a bunch of things. Can a HOA foreclose on you? Yeah, but that's really unlikely. They'll most likely, especially for that amount, they don't usually press charges that quickly. They'll give you a couple years, sometimes 3-4 years. And then they'll basically place a lien on it. To go into foreclosure is extreme. Like, they know that even if they place a lien, that when you sell a house, they're gonna get their money. So most likely they don't go into foreclosure. So that's just a weird story. Is it possible? Probably. Is it probable? No, I don't think so. Like, there's so many variables that have to take place for lightning to strike like that. So I don't think that's real probable to do that. It's just a crazy story. I just put it out there, like, I think is that to scare people? Possibly, because I don't think all the details there. I'm missing some details. It's not adding up to me.
I definitely think, you know what I'm saying, it's reality, right? But I don't think the full story is being told.
Can't be.
You know what I'm saying? I do think that, you know what I'm saying, yeah, it was over $400, $1,200, whatever the case may be. But what I think is that wasn't her first offense, right? You know what I'm saying? I think there was multiple offenses before that happened. You know what I'm saying? And then you can look after the fact and say, okay, well, look, you know what I'm saying? They sold it for X amount of dollars, whatever the case may be, they made it. But at the end of the day, they went through the proper legal channels in order to acquire the property and then turn around and sell it for thousands of dollars. Now, let's just take for example in Texas, in Houston specifically, for Harris County, there are tax liens that you can actually go down there to the county and pay whatever it is that, you know what I'm saying, delinquent, plus all the fees and all this other stuff. There's a redemption period to which, you know what I'm saying, you can actually come back and actually pay the money plus penalty plus interest and actually be able to acquire that property back. Now, if you don't take that redemption period and come back and pay what's actually due, that person has the right to do whatever they want to with the property. So, you know what I'm saying? It's I understand it's a messed up situation. It's an extreme situation. But at the end of the day, if you pay your bills the way they're supposed to be paid, and it's not to say, you know what I'm saying, people don't go through whatever they go through, medical issues, whatever the case may be, 100% I get that. You know what I'm saying? That stuff happens. But you can't sit here and complain about what happens or what the end result is if you don't actually pay your bills or do what you're legally allowed to do, which is come back and actually take over that property and actually pay back the person that paid the tax lien or whatever the HOA lien or whatever the case may be. If you don't come back and pay them their money, they have the complete right to do whatever they want to with the property. Now, this makes headlines. There are 1,000 cases where this exact same thing has happened. But at the end of the day, there's nobody to blame for that if you didn't take your legal right and pay your fucking bills at the end of the day. Now, again, you know what I'm saying, it's not to say that, you know what I'm saying, they're in the wrong. I know it sucks, whatever the case may be, but you had every right to come back and get that property. You had every right to pay the HOA, and you chose not to do it. So you can't sit here and complain about what the end result is or what that investor made at the end of the day. The truth of the matter is, you know what I'm saying, you can actually do the same thing. So why don't you find your property, you know what I'm saying, go pay the HOA taxes on it, take over the property, and then turn around and sell it. The same rights that was given to them is the same rights that's given to you.
My thing on this one is, how did they, unless that's an investment property and it was empty, how did they take the house, buy it, then sell it if she's living there? That doesn't make sense.
Well, I don't know necessarily how they did that. Now, here's the thing: is that let's say for example, let's take for example, you know what I'm saying, somebody buys a tax lien or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Somebody buys a tax lien on the property and you're still in it. They take over that property. It's on them to turn around and actually evict you. They have to go through the process of evicting you from that property.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody sells that property to another investor and they say, okay, well, look, you know what I'm saying, there's a tenant in there. We haven't evicted that tenant. That responsibility is on you to evict that tenant. Then you know what I'm saying, they've technically done nothing wrong. They've done everything by the book.
Right.
So how can you sit there and complain about it? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you did what you did, look, it's the exact same thing if you don't pay a credit card If you don't pay a credit card, that a credit card eventually goes on collections. That credit card goes on your actual credit report. How can you complain about it going on your credit report because you hadn't paid it?
Well, my thing is, that's one thing, but I get it. It's probable, but it's possible, but how probable is that? A, and then B, how's the HOA foreclose? I know they can put a lien on you, but how's the HOA gonna foreclose on you for not paying HOA dues? I've seen before. I've done several refinances that they have back HOA dues. I've seen up to $8,000. You know, and that's 8 years worth, 10 years worth. So I've never seen anybody foreclose on anybody especially for $1,000. I've never seen that.
Every HOA is different, you know what I'm saying, as far as when they can actually foreclose. Now, the assumption that I have is that, you know what I'm saying, they own the property free and clear. Somebody passed away and left that property to some heirs. Is what I'm assuming, right? Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, if you own a property and there's a, let's just say Bank of America, for example. Bank of America has a lien on there. There's no way they're going to allow HOA to foreclose on that property for $400 and they have a $300, a $300,000 or $200,000 lien on that property. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that they were actually able to go through with the foreclose on that property, leads me to believe that property was on free and clear. You just didn't pay the HOA. So there's nobody there as a stop loss in order to pay the actual HOA and say, okay, well, look, we're going to pay it. We're going to make sure you're good to protect our interest. And we're going to make sure that the tenant, that the borrower pays us so that, you know what I'm saying, we're protected, so that our $200,000 is protected over a $400,000 loan. That's my assumption. I mean, again, you know what I'm saying, we don't know the whole story. Yeah, but that would be my assumption.
There's parts missing, so let's run this next one because, like I said, but that story got a lot of holes in it. There's a lot of stuff at the line, right? Is that the norm? No.
No, it's definitely not the norm, which is why I made headlines.
Right.
It's Goodman back with another second. All right, one of my tents has an inspection, so let's get into it and see what we got. So we have a bunch of flooring just sitting here on the ground, and then we walk in the living room. There's no flooring on the living room ground. It's been used as firewood because there's no heat, electricity, or water running in this house. And in the kitchen, we don't have a refrigerator anymore or a stove. And I asked the tenant, where is it? She said, I don't know. I don't know where they went. And I said, that's absolutely crazy. And yes, someone does actually live here at this exact moment. Like, that bed is being used to sleep on. This is one of the bedrooms. I would say we have a roof leak, but no, it's because there was a fire in here because they're using this room to heat the house with kerosene and all other things. Flooring is missing in this bedroom, and there's also a dead bird on the ground. Don't know where that came from, but that's okay. So next bedroom, looks fine. This is A-okay. And then we've got the bathroom. All right. Nice smells because it can't flush the toilet because there's no water on. Because there's no power on, has been on for like 2 years now. We have to go get an inspection to get the power back on. But yes, like I said, I'm just going to keep emphasizing, someone lives here. Someone's just living in this condition. That's what she does. She just lives here like this. I don't know. At this point, so far gone, I just kind of let it go until someone kicks her out. And we'll wait for that to happen. But anyway, here's the backyard. Just make sure you go check on your tents sometimes, because I didn't, and this is what happens. So we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. This is Goodman, back with another second.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Again, this got a lot of holes in it. They got a lot of explaining to do, man.
A lot of holes in it.
A lot of holes in it, like, man. First of all, how you let it? How did you get notification that the power is not on? And the electricity, and the people using it as a fire hazard, and you own the property. How you didn't get notification? You ain't checked on the house in years. How did that happen? Then secondly, how did this arbitrarily? The main thing that's sticking me out is this one mouse that's sitting in the bathtub, and the bathtub is just, the rest of the house is kind of, it's dirty, but but you don't just see one mouse like that. You're gonna see several.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if he adds stuff for the play up. you know, to go viral or whatever. But I don't know. It seems a lot of holes in this for me as well. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's a lot of holes in this one. You know, that don't make sense as well. I don't think nobody lives in that spot, man. Can't be. You know, it's completely empty. Where's the clothes? You know.
I think, you know what I'm saying, you know, it's surprising how nasty people would live in a condition. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think, you know what I'm saying, is necessarily far fetched. I've seen some hoarder houses where, you know what I'm saying, it's like it's no way somebody would live in here. But it truly is. They'll have a corner or whatever the case may be. Dead squirrels with bones, raccoons, rats all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I've seen houses that bad where people were actually living in it, and it's sad. It's sad. So you know what I'm saying? People do live in it, but when you're talking about Section 8, Section 8 is a little bit of a different animal because you could easily require or request an inspection be done. And if an inspector comes in there, the person that's in there could actually lose their Section 8 voucher. If things are not the way they're supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, and then they've actually damaged the property to that respect. So I think, you know what I'm saying, for them, they've just kind of, hey, look, you know what I'm saying, Section 8 has been paying me X amount of money, guaranteed every single month. I'm not going to worry about it. So then when that person chooses to create a problem or that person moves out, now you start to inspect the property. Now you start to check on the property and it becomes in that condition.
Right.
And it's unfortunate. But you know what I'm saying, it's a little bit of blame on both parts. A little bit of blame on the tenant part. It's a little bit of blame on the landlord part because they never checked on it. They never paid attention to it and they never cared about it.
Right. I got a few more I'm combing through as well. I won't really go over. Let me go with this one I know for sure. Let me go over one that's kind of controversial. Thank you.
Yep.
Let me go over one that's kind of controversial.
All right.
Not really controversial. This is like have nothing really to do with real estate, but I just want to get your take on this. This is what I just put in today.
Okay.
I just thought it was weird. I mean, you know,
Happy birthday. Thank you.
Dang, y'all done started eating, and I thought I was taking you out on a date for your birthday.
Well, you are, but I wanted to bring my friend, and it took a little while. So why wouldn't we go ahead and start preparing, right? We're on one tab. I think she might need her card at the bar.
You brought a whole other person on a date with
my best friend. That's one person. We're both one person. What are you talking about? See, this is what we talk to this friend is why we dating. I told you people act like this.
We talked about us going on a date for your birthday.
It's us.
But you brought a whole other person with you.
This is us. What would you call this? Us, right? Not
and me. You already got food, you got drinks.
But you can have some. We can advertise to everybody. I got salad. Would you like it?
No, it's not what. This is going to be a private, intimate moment with us.
But it's my birthday. Why I can't just get a open.
No, I'm not.
My birthday calls for my own birthday. Like, you know what? I don't know what. You don't date.
So I date one person. I don't date two individuals.
Well, you're not dating her. You're dating me first, okay?
But she's
here.
Be gross. But she's
here.
She's here because I'm dating you, not her.
That's my birthday. That's what I would
do. Well, how about y'all have a good birthday? I'm gonna go ahead and head out. She's sitting there looking crazy. Like I don't even understand.
Yeah, you probably should. Yeah. But don't drop that car at the bar though.
I'm not dropping no card at the bar. I'm gonna go ahead and go. You have a great birthday.
Yeah, lose my number too.
I will lose your number. You have a good day.
Right. Girl, we do not need him.
So you dropping that card off at the bar, man? So on the homegirl can have a good time?
Hell no, I ain't dropping that card off.
Yeah. Yeah, my boy said drop that card off at the. She said drop the card off. At the bar. You're sure the tab already been ran up.
It ain't no way.
You know,
it ain't no way. Hey, look, he did the exact same thing that I did, that I would have did. Look, I'm gonna bow out. I'm gonna let y'all have it.
Right.
It ain't no way.
Right. I mean, I
So
did.
now,
I had that happen at Papa Do's one time, man. I had to pretend like I was going to the bathroom and I dipped off, man. You know,
look, you obviously, you know what I'm saying, have chosen, you know what I'm saying, how you want to do it and what you want to do and who you want to spend your birthday with. That's fine. But I'm not sponsoring this trip.
I'm not financing it. You know what I'm saying?
No way.
That's crazy.
No way. And then, you know what I'm saying, that speaks to the respect that you have for me when you do something like that.
All right. You just you trying to get what you could get and then discuss it. I can understand that we discuss it, but you don't just pop up on me with it.
No way.
You know what I'm saying? Let's hit this next one. Another controversial one I had. I forgot.
I want to know where I'm not welcome. Okay. Put them signs back up. Colors only, whites only. Let's do it. All right. Rip the Band-Aid off. Especially for a restaurant. Are you kidding me? Whites only? What do I want to do in there? What they got? Mashed potatoes, mayonnaise, hot dogs. Colors only. We got seasoning, turmeric, paprika.
Okay, I like this. You were saying that the black excellence.
Absolutely.
The segregation is to get
the colored excellence.
Okay.
Black people spend over $1 trillion a year. I would love for the government to force us to spend it on our own people.
This is very good.
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
I brought you over to the side.
And the black airplane?
Oh, come on. The Soul Plane, baby.
I want to be on Soul Plane.
Yes, it's going to be noisy on there, but that's what noise cancellation headphones are for. You know what I'm saying?
And they're going to have all the good movies?
All the good movies, all the good music.
Oh, man.
And while we at it, bring back sundown towns. They never left, but...
What's that?
Well, a sundown town was back in the day during Jim Crow where black people weren't allowed to be in a town after the sunset.
Wow.
So those towns never left. They still exist in America, but they took the signs down. I want them to put the signs back up. I wanted to say 248 miles to the next town that likes colored people. Get your gas in Atlanta. Don't stop till you get to Savannah. All right?
I'm with her.
He with me.
So what's your take?
Bring back segregation.
What you think of that one right there, man? A controversial one.
That is very controversial. That is very controversial. You know what I'm saying? Look, that's a tough one.
Right.
That's a tough one.
Right.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I think it's extreme. I think
I'm at a loss of words on that one.
I think it's extreme, but I think the essence of it, the spirit of it needs to be there, but without the force. But I mean, everybody else kind of do that, but this for some reason which I think is for reasons beyond you think it wasn't randos by design, that we took that money and diluted it, and I don't think nobody was. I said this before on the podcast. I don't think nobody. I think it was Planet that sit down in the restaurants. I think we didn't really give a damn about that. It was college students that was doing that stuff, and they don't know where they was coming from. They wasn't a part of the town. Like, who's sitting down in these restaurants, and who's fighting to eat at a restaurant that I don't want to be served at? Like, who does that? So, and they were saying that at the time, like, I don't know where these people coming from. Are they coming from the college? But it wasn't the local people in the town that was sitting there protesting for that. And, so it happened to open the floodgates, and then they with social engineering and eventually the dollar left out our community and the loyalty with it, everything else. So I still, that's why I named Greenwood. I still think we had a lot going when we was forced to mess with each other. And I think we were lapping a lot of other communities. We were striving because we got, just like she said, that food gonna be out the chain, the music gonna be out the chain. We got something that nobody else could. I mean, AI gonna try to take, some of it, but it can't take that food, the taste of that food. It can't, they're gonna try to take the entertainment away, but just that you gotta mess with us on, So, and that's from that. Just like with Asians, they got certain technology. The Germans got technology. The Asians got this. That's what they known for, and they take that and capitalize on that. We could have did the same. We could do the same stuff, but we want to dilute it. And everybody, that's the point. That everybody else eating like that. They taking what they're known for, exporting it, and bringing it back and everybody eating. We taking what we known for and sharing it with everybody else, and then we're not bringing it back, and it's just everybody taking advantage. Everybody getting rich off of it except us. Besides for a few of us, one or two of us, and we take it and spread it out.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's I hear what she's saying, but I don't know I don't think I think the only way we'll do it is if we force. But I know it's a utopia. It's all a fantasy. It never happened. But I think she onto something. But I don't think it never happened. I think we have to have a mental thing going on, but I don't think it's too far gone. I don't think I don't think it'll happen, but I think it needs to. Possibly, if you want to go that route, or you're just gonna have a bunch of individuals, right now. It leads to this right here. Let's go to the next clip. Leads to this right here. This is the outcome, and I'm setting up these clips according to, it leads to this right here. And I forgot, and that's exactly why I put this in there.
There's no duck off, nigga. You ain't
Fuck this dead ass nigga on the set. Fuck this dead ass nigga. You know this is a very special chain on the set.
These niggas know where it's at, man. Come on.
This the west side, man. We on MLK and Carry right now. Right behind Crib City.
Man, that's all.
Fuck all the ops on dead homies.
Come get back.
Yeah, brother just got home today. You know, dead homies. He got home today.
Belt ass, nigga.
That shit fake.
Fuck yellow, nigga.
You feel me? A nigga thought he was cool coming to set, chill out, or say he ain't leave this motherfucker.
Hey, homie, this block real things. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. We up on every motherfucking scoreboard, nigga. Okay, yeah, we got a strip. Okay, cool. That's where the money get made. But come off that motherfucker.
Hey, what can I say? Hey, Poof, he gone.
Hey, what he say?
Poof. It's a real motherfucking trophy. You niggas know who this shit is. Come on, Pete. Hold on. Let me get right. Don't put that shit on. That shit gonna break your neck out.
We still all accounted for too. We might have had a couple casualties, but it wasn't because y'all. We still all accounted for.
They ain't never come get that nigga chain back. We keep telling them come get his chain back.
But we ain't into no this and no. But hey, niggas know who did that. Yeah, I just gave it up. Like, I need that. Did my shit. Did my shit. And this was the outcome.
Only my brother. He probably killed your bitch ass brother.
It's a real motherfucking trophy.
How you so messy? We got the fattest homies fighting.
Hey, no. What he say?
There we go right here. This is where we want our boomerang too, P.
Don't play with the set.
And we in a real.
So I don't know what the hell that is. I mean, I could try to translate. I think that's
go for it.
One of the I guess they call it the ops, one of the enemies' chain that they killed or something like that, and they were robbed, and they're wearing it, and they saying like they, using it as a trophy or something like that. So, and
that's why I stayed on the strip.
Yeah,
I have no idea what the fuck what they was talking about. You know what I'm saying? They had a chain, so I guess that's a trophy. But they couldn't say, you know what I'm saying, they offed him. But, you know what I'm saying, I mean, it was a bunch of yelling. It was a bunch of yelling, and I had no idea what they were talking about.
Right. But the bunch of hand movements and stuff like that, I don't know, I like the comments. They said one of the comments, like the first comment that's on there is like, are y'all beefing with the casinos that's right there? Like, that's taking, that the real making money. Y'all worried about a chain and this and that, but they got the casinos right there in Las Vegas making all the money. So yeah. So like this petty stuff, You know, it's a whole lecture about that stuff. Like I said, what happened to social engineering, and this is the outcome. You know, we get that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That one was a hard one to follow. Because it was just a whole bunch of cats yelling. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea what they talking about.
Right.
I was lost on that one.
Right. I mean, like I said, I somewhat translating. I think they kill somebody for the chain or something like that, and they beefing over chain or whatever. I don't know, but it's blocks that they own on. But there is hope with this these last couple of clips. There is hope you could do like this. They got cats that was caught up in the BS, but now they're starting to learn. Let's look at this one right here.
For a Rolls Royce, for a Ghost, or they at the Rolls Royce dealership. That shit ain't do nothing for my career. It did nothing for me. It did nothing for my business. I caught a 2-week stunt, meaning I felt
once
proud.
everybody saw it,
Yeah.
that shit don't mean nothing no more.
It took about 2 weeks for everybody knew I had the bitch. It ain't mean that bitch ain't mean nothing. $500,000 down the drain. Then I lost 100 racks the moment it moved. It pushed off the lot. And the fucked up thing, one thing I realized, right, is that the Rolls Royce dealership is approximately, I did the math, like I'm serious about this. The Rolls Royce dealership is approximately 7 minutes from my juice bar. I spent $500,000 with them. Them folks ain't came my juice bar and spent $5. That shit meant something to me. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's cold.
Yeah. I spent $500,000 for a Rolls Royce.
Boom. So cats starting to wake up and realize, you know what I'm saying? You know, all right, you studied for 2 weeks. What you got out there? All right, everybody. Then what? Now what? Now the dopamine is gone. The dopamine high is gone. You just spent that money and you took a loss, and then they ain't spending no money with you. You could have took that and put it in your business, put it in your community.
It's one of those things, you know what I'm saying, where it's life lessons, right? You know what I'm saying? So they have to go through that to understand that, you know what I'm saying? To expect, you know what I'm saying, you go to spend $500,000 on a Rolls Royce, you know what I'm saying, and expect for them to actually come to your juice bar is completely ridiculous. Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, once they say that $500,000 call, they're done. Like, we got what we needed from you, you know what I'm saying? It's a used mentality, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not coming down, you know what I'm saying, I'm not coming down to the hood, quote unquote, you know what I'm saying, to spend money at your juice bar. I got what I needed.
Right.
I needed you to buy this car. I'm a car salesman. So I got my commission about this $500,000 car that you bought. I'm going on down the road. I'm going on down to spend my money down on whatever rich avenue, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, where I want to spend my money at. The loyalty is not there, you know what I'm saying, for me to be like, hey, look, this cat spent $500,000 with us. I'm going to go down there to the juice bar and buy 30 drinks or 30 smoothies or whatever kind of business that he had. It's not reciprocal, you know what I'm saying? And I think, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of respects, we expect that to happen, and it doesn't necessarily happen. So if you go down there and buy that car, you know what I'm saying, you can't expect for these people to come down here to a certain
Why not?
area, or whatever the case may be.
I don't do business with people that don't do business with me.
Well, you know what I'm saying, but why would you go down there and buy that Rolls Royce then? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, you didn't go down there to buy that Rolls Royce for them to come down there and spend money with you. You came down there to buy that $500,000 Rolls Royce because you wanted to flex on the hood.
Right.
You wanted to flex on your crew. So you know what I'm saying? The goals and the anticipation of the end goal is not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So
we talked about this dichotomy of this. We do this to flex on each other, but at the same time, there's no end game. There's no strategy involved with what you do.
It's not. But then you want to get upset. You want to get upset when they don't come down there. You know what I'm saying? It's been in your hood. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it just doesn't make sense.
In your hood? You know, are you forcing them like, hey, we're not gonna spend in this unless you The thing about Louis, Gucci, ain't none of them donated. All this, we should have a Gucci school in every hood. We should have a Louis school in every hood. As much money we spend with them.
But we ain't gonna have that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna go down there to Louis Vuitton. You know what I'm saying? And buy that across the chest purse. You know what I'm saying? That everybody want to have. That got LV all on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we're gonna go to the salesman at the Louis Vuitton and expect for them to come down to our store or come down to our restaurant and eat food. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it ain't the same expectations. You know what I'm saying? It's unrealistic.
Right.
It's absolutely unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Just like
it should be a reality. It should be spending with those who spend with you.
But it's not though.
We don't demand that.
It's not because you're not spending with your own peers.
Right.
You're not spending money with your own peers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody's going to take that. You know what I'm saying? And, hey, look, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? The person that you bought that from is just like, okay, well, look, you know what I'm saying? We got another fool that wanted to flex on the hood. Knowing you can't afford that, you know what I'm saying? But because you made a little bit of money for whatever, you know what I'm saying, gig that you did or job that you did, you made a little bit of money. Now you want to go spend all that trying to flex on somebody, you know what I'm saying? The anticipation of them coming to reciprocate that is not the same. So you know what I'm saying, for a uneducated person, you know what I'm saying, like I'm mad because you didn't reciprocate that. You didn't come down there and spend money at my business the same way I spend money with you. But for an educated person, I understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, I go buy this car. I buy this car because I want this car. I want you to come down here and spend money with me. But if you don't, you know what I'm saying, I'm not mad because of it. You know what I'm saying? I understand it. I'm going on down the road.
Right. Right. Again, they say how much was somebody, how much will somebody tolerate? I mean, how far will somebody go as far as treatment of you is how much you allow, you know? So if you allow the treatment, you get exactly what you deserve. I got two more. I want to play one real estate, one outro. You know, I got one by Charleston White. I gotta rock out as the last one. But let's run this last real estate one that I had.
While you pulling that one up, you know what I'm saying? The last thing that I want to add is, you know what I'm saying, nobody goes down to Gallery Furniture expecting for Mattress Mac to come back and spend a shit ton of money at their business.
Shit, where you get that from?
I get that from reality.
Nah, like they got people all the time want Mattress Mac to do shit. They want them to donate. They want them to.
They want them to do a whole bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? But now Mattress Mac is selective as far as what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
everybody that comes down to Gallery Furniture, I'm not going to spend shit ton of money over there at their business. Now, if they have a great social media following, you know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
now we can reciprocate some stuff. You know what I'm saying? But just because like you got a rim business, you know what I'm saying? You got a rim business that barely make it, or whatever the case may be. Because you go spend money down at Gallery Furniture, you expect for Mattress Mac to come down there and buy 3 pairs of rims or 4 pairs of rims. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't happening.
I'm trying to tell you, you're wrong on this one. Now you was cool. Now you're bugging on something you don't know.
I'm 100% facts. It's 100% facts. Mattress Mac is not going back. Now here's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I get what you're saying. If he had Slim Thug come down there and buy furniture, and Slim Thug had something going on, hey Slim Thug, I'm coming down to support you. No problem. But if B Dicks come down and say, hey, look, Mattress Mac, I bought $5,000 worth of furniture, and I want you to come do some mortgages with me, he coming to fuck with you?
Yeah, I mean, let me do two things. Let me go both ends of the spectrum. I seen Mac do array of all three. Let's do three sides.
Okay.
Let's do something in the middle. Let's do something on. I seen Cavender, the dude that owned Cavender, come in there and spend a whole bunch of money on furniture. Then the next week, Mac got 2-3 pair of boots. Man, I went to Cavender. You spend money with me. I went out there and spent money with him. I seen.
Well, we talking about Cavender's, the biggest boot stores in Texas.
Right.
I don't know if they're nationwide,
Give me a
but they're
second.
the biggest booster. Okay, all right, go ahead.
I said I'm gonna go all three sides. I'm gonna go three sides. Here. I'm doing the setup. Let's not argue
All right,
about
go
the
ahead.
setup.
All right, go ahead.
Same thing with HEB. The dude that owned HEB came out here. The Mac, boom, did something with him. Same thing with the Astros. The Astros, Kane spent a whole bunch of money with Mac. Then Mac started sponsoring the Astros. That's how the rich people get down. I've seen. Let's go on the other side. I've seen people with small businesses came and did something for Mac. Gave him something, spent some money with him. The candle company that he got in there, they came as customers. And they came pitching, hey, this is what I got. And he been ordering candles with them since then for years. So he ordered more candles. He became their number one customer. I've seen him, this woman he liked at La Madelaine's. She was a hell of a salesman just because he liked the way she sells. She started ordering their breakfast there every morning. At least every Saturday. I find Saturday morning meetings at La Madeline. So she became the number one. And Mac likes you and you mess with him, he believe in reciprocation. So he gonna go back and he gonna spend with you. Let's go to even people that don't spend no money. If he liked the story, if he's moved by the story, he gonna spend with you. I've seen people come. I could name at least 10 off the top of my head, but they had this woman that adopted like 13 kids, black woman. Had every type of kid you can think, white. She used to come in the store, and Matt gave her a whole bunch of furniture, and he, buy the kids all kinds. He had the kid, hey, get my car, go ahead, get all the kids school clothes. I've seen this with my own eyes. I seen him. Black woman came in a wheelchair. I seen him pay all the hospital bills. I've seen him do stuff like this. I've seen him even for Mouton, one of the top salesmen there. He just seen them out. They were out celebrating his son. His son passed away now, but his son's birthday, and they go for the check like, nah, the check already paid for it. Mac already paid for it.
Yep.
But Mac is definitely about reciprocation. That's how he built his business. It's like, and even, if Mac have time on his schedule and they say, hey, we just spent some money with you, hey, we want you to come speak here, Mac will come speak at this at whatever event that you want if he's got time on his schedule.
Yeah, but I'm saying what you're speaking to is a difference between ambassador of goodwill and then I'm saying actually being able, just because you spend money, I'm coming over there to spend money with you. There's a difference between the two. Because I'm saying when you talk about people that have an actual group home or whatever the case may be, it's the exact same thing when a hurricane comes and nobody has anywhere to come. Mattress Mac is like, hey, look, y'all can all come to Gallery Furniture. Y'all can come sit on the furniture. Y'all can come sleep. We're gonna provide electricity for you. You guys are charge your phones, whatever the case may be. That is goodwill. But just to be like, okay, well, look, I own a rim company. You gonna spend money with me. I'm coming to buy a whole bunch of rims. It's a difference between the two. It's not the same. Like nobody's downgrading or diminishing, Mattress Mac good heart. But what I'm saying is that when somebody comes in and expects up and coming artist or whatever the case may be says, man, look, I'm the best rapper in Houston. I'm coming here to buy $5,000 worth of furniture. I want you to buy $5,000 worth of my albums. Mattress Mac is not in line to be like, well, look, I'm gonna buy all your albums. I'm gonna buy $5,000 worth of albums. Like it just doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's not dollar for dollar, but I see it's you wash my back and I wash yours. I've seen Trey
in certain situations, though. Not every situation.
I'm trying to tell you what I see with my own eyes. You're not allowing me to say it. I've seen.
Well, what I'm saying, I'm allowing you to say what you said, but what I'm saying is that you can't tell me in every situation a person has came in to spend money over there at Gallery Furniture and Mattress Mac has returned it tenfold. Not every situation.
I'm not saying tenfold. I'm not saying dollar for dollar. I'm saying if you buy with Mac and you present it to him right, he will bless your business. Or he will this depends. Now I'm not gonna say every in a lot of situations because I don't know every. They'll be ignorant of me, but I've seen. But most people don't talk to them about their business. You know, they now, and it depends on how you come about it. Most people want something for nothing. He gonna shut those people down. If you just hey spend money with me, he's not gonna do that. If I spend $40,000-$50,000 in furniture, and I've seen them before. You know, I spent $40,000-$50,000. I got my everything, and hey, this Mac, this is what I got going. You know, I appreciate you. And next thing we know, I'll see him. I've seen him some more buy shirts. Dude had a shirt company. He got some shirts. Y'all, you know. Nah, it's definitely not gonna be dollar to dollar, but he is gonna spend some money with them. You know, I've seen him buy stupid shit. He not even what the fruit baskets. When the fruit baskets first came out 10, 12 years ago, when they, you know, he used to say, all right, I like that. He started sending all his customers fruit baskets that spent $10,000 or more. So he started using them. Again, he and I get that from him. Like, man, that's why I just said I like to spend money with people that spend money with me. You know, that's how Mac do it. Like, you know, you spend money with him and you approach him the right way. He might not do it. Hey, all right, well, but he, you know, he might come and mess with you. I seen Trey the Truth. Come him, Scarface, Don C. A lot of boys came, and when they needed Mac to do something for that trade day, who you think writing the check?
Yeah, but you talking about major legends in Houston,
right? But
again, you know what I'm saying? Can a no namer come in there? You know what I'm saying, and expect the reciprocation? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So you know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that
I've seen
the video. The video that you showed, you know what I'm saying, it was a no-namer that was expecting a certain type of somebody that he had no relationship with.
No, he had
a person that has no relationship with, you know what I'm saying, Mattress Mac, and they come in there and their story not right, or they don't have the following, or they don't have the background. I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, he won't do it, you know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that, you know what I'm saying, it's not as easy to say, okay, well, look, you have a fruit juice down the street, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna come through there and spend $10,000 with you. It just doesn't happen like that.
But he definitely gonna go. He definitely go spend some money with you. Somebody buying a $500 end table is different, but you spend some major bread with him, he gonna come and show you some love.
Yeah, but we don't know what that major, you know what I'm saying, bread is. We don't know what that threshold is.
I'm talking about people that spend 10. I give you another. I could give you 100 examples, dude. You know that spent $50,000. I wrote the ticket, $50,000 with me on a landscaping company. Shit, he started doing the landscaping now. You know, he Mac on all them apartment complexes around there. That was like that one ticket made him like $6,000 every month. Like, you know, so Mac do stuff like that. If you ain't spend no money with him, you know, he ain't, you know. That's
oh no,
how
I'm not saying he don't. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you know, everybody in there, you know what I'm saying, that claims to be, you know, but whatever. We roll on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I'm just telling you what I've seen. Like I said, now they got people, I've seen them shut people down and begging people that don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know, you spend some money with them. That's his philosophy, man. You got to make a deposit before you might withdraw. You got to give to get.
Which I 100% get. 100% get.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying, just the fact you come in here and buy a Rolls Royce, just the fact that you come in here and buy a Lexus doesn't necessarily mean, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna come spend $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 with your business.
I get it, but I think if we focus, the reason for that clip, if we focus and take more of that Mattress Mac mind frame, I think we should start curating on the people who we spend money with and stop putting money in people's pockets that don't have our best interest. So if you can't come down to the hood and spend some money with me, I'm not gonna give you my money. You know,
Well, he should have thought about that before he spent that $500,000.
But that's the point. He realizing it now, and that's the point of this podcast. Like, hey man, y'all, you ever thought about that? Like, you know, just because it flies don't mean, you know, hey, do you know the owners? Do you know what they're doing with this money?
Yeah,
you know,
but I'm saying every company is not the same. You know what I'm saying? It can't be respected, and it can't be expected to be the same. You know what I'm saying? You go down to Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? If you buy this $500,000 if you buy this $500,000 car, or you know what I'm saying, if you don't buy this $500,000 car, there's somebody that's coming in here after you that's gonna buy this $500,000 car.
I
You know what I'm saying?
get
Matches Mac is for the community, he's for the state, he's for the people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in business is not built like that. Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
So
my
you
point
can't
is-
expect the same from every single body.
My point is that as consumers, you have the right to choose who you spend your money with.
Absolutely.
I think if more of us held people responsible, I think the money would flow a little bit better. I know this is a lofty idea. However, I know nobody's going to do it. However, I think if we chose to spend our dollars with that, your dollars is your power, and that you'll get more shaking and you'll get more movement. Like, all right, you're not spending. Where's your after school programs? Where's this? Where's that? I got a business. I give you an example. I was already a Saint fan as a child, but I became a real fan when a lot of the Saints players used to support my business. Like that's when I became a stark Raven fan. Like, man, you
because
know,
you got a beneficial reason
right
to support them at that point. Right. So I get that.
Right. So I used to be a passive fan. Like, yeah, I root for the Saints, but when them dudes used to come show me love, you know, because you know my business right next to the, you know, they used to be in that club next door, so they come out and spend $400-500 with me. I can name the player, but I don't want to put them out like that. But you know that shit, they spend a lot of dudes, you know, all them cats back in the day used to spend some money with me. You know what I mean? So shit. I went and got season tickets. I buy the jerseys. I got a whole Saints room. I start reciprocating. All right, well, shit, that's my team. You know, for sure. I start spending some money. You know, Saints paraphernalia. Saints, shit, they spend some money with me, give me incentive, and that's where it should be. Like it should be a one hand wash the other wood thing, and you shouldn't just spend money because they got something that you won't spend your money with them, and they ain't doing nothing for you.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's my opinion on that. It only happens when you get to a certain tax bracket.
What you mean? Yeah, it happens better like that. Yeah, I get it. But what if
So,
everybody
you know
like that?
when everybody thinks like that, you know what I'm saying, that would be fine, but that wouldn't make America America. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody thinks a little bit different. When
mean,
when you're in a lower tax bracket, you know what I'm saying, you think completely different. You're thinking from a used mindset. You're not thinking from a reciprocal mindset. You know what I'm saying? It's the difference between someone being on food stamps and someone not being on food stamps, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just the mindset of it is completely different. What you're thinking about. You know what I'm saying? When you're on food stamps, you're thinking, oh well shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't make money or I can't do what I need to do because I gotta be able to make food stamps. You know what I'm saying? If you're not on food stamps, you're thinking, I have to come out here and get it. Like I have to hustle, you know what I'm saying, to be able to get this money. It's just a different mindset.
Right. I get it. Like I said, but a lot of well-off people, you know, that's the way they roll. Like, you know, they spend money with each other, you know, so and they go from there, you know, and they wash each
And there's
other.
nothing wrong with it. You know, it's just the way it is. When you get to a certain tax bracket, you know what I'm saying, the way the life is, you know what I'm saying, it's a political it's a political arena. It's about who you know. You know what I'm saying? I know you know what I'm saying? Like you have your own car dealership. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather go to you that have your own car dealership rather than the next door car dealership where I don't know who owns that. I got to deal with whatever car sells them. That sells me some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because if I know, you know what I'm saying, you own a car dealership and I come to you to spend bread, you going to come to me for a mortgage. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a different mindset.
Right. I mean, that's how the well-off do. They wash each other back.
Correct.
As much as $150,000. There's all this inventory for sale and they're not able to sell it. On this house behind me, they've cut the price from $750,000 down to $500,000 over the last couple months, literally everywhere in this community. And the reason that these builders are cutting the prices in 2025 is due to a big surge in inventory. Right now, home builders across America have almost 120,000 completed homes for sale sitting vacant on their lots. That's the highest level of spec inventory since August 2009 in the middle of the last housing crash. We've only seen this level of home building once before in US history. And of course, that level of home building helped cause a big housing crash. The question is, are we going to see a big housing crash this time around due to the builders cutting prices? So far in this zip code, it hasn't spread yet. Here in Frisco, home prices are still up 1.7% year over year. However, the more this inventory hits the market in 2025, the more downward pressure there will likely be on prices. So watch out in your city and zip code. Track the data on the Reventure mobile app.
But yeah, that's why I called cap on the question that TJ asked earlier about prices going up. I think, like I said, a lot of spec builders, and that's why probably one of the reasons my house is sitting on the market for so long, because they got. I don't think there's an inventory shortage anymore. I think because of the rates, those new homes are sitting there, and the first time home builders are, because the rates are in the 7s and the 6s, have stopped buying homes like a few years ago there, and they got spoiled just that quick. A lot of people waiting for the rates to get back in the 2s and the 3s, which they're never gonna get. So a lot of people got spoiled. I get it that you can't. We talk about this all the time on the podcast. Is hyperinflation, which happened over the last 4 years during the Biden administration, coupled with the higher interest rates, which you could afford back in 2020, you can't afford no more. Just that quick. Like, you're going to pay 3-4 times as much. You could, just shortly 5 years ago, you could get a house that's 100-something thousand in a decent neighborhood, and your note going to be $1,500-$1,600. That was a sweet spot. That's gone now, unless you got something that's got to be a lot of work to it. The same how we talked about this off air before we got that same house is $300,000 now, and now that note is $2,500. That $1,000 swing is a big difference on affordability. Then you got that coupled with the fact that builders are willing to cut in a little bit into their profits, not a lot, to buy down that rate. You see what I'm saying? For the customer.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing as well. So they're trying to get rid of some of that spec inventory. Like you said, this is the biggest spec inventory since 2009 during the height of the crash. So builders, a lot of people buying them new homes that they're throwing up. Just because they offer an incentive. All right, I'm gonna take out of my profit. I'm gonna take this $25,000 out of my profit, which is overpriced anyway. So that's what they're doing. And then from there, they're taking that down, either buying down the interest rate or giving you a package, which is all part of it anyway. So, like I said, with that being said, resales are kind of sitting on the market a little bit longer than they used to. And first-time home buyers are not buying as much as they used to. Let's hit this last clip. Let's see. I don't know. So I'll go and give you the last word on that before I get to this last clip, and then we can be out.
Shit, I ain't goddamn messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Don't worry about it. We'll go to that last clip.
Messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Everything that you're saying has some truth to it. It's just the delivery. You standing. There's no denying that you're standing for and by your people.
Well, here's the thing. When you're addressing evil, you can't worry about the delivery. When you're looking at the conditions of our community, you can't worry about the evil when you got kids that kill kids and say we smoking on Tuka. See, they wasn't worried about the delivery when these kids in Chicago were talking about smoking on Tuka. They weren't worried about the delivery. I ain't got no manners for no slut. I'm gonna put my thumb in her butt. The delivery? I like girls kissing girls where I'm from. That's on the radio. Girls on girls. That's promoting lesbianism to my daughter as we driving to school. This song they playing with Drake. Y'all worried about the delivery? These niggas talking about killing each other. They really, that nigga Thug said, nigga, I shot at your mama. You don't mention me no more. He really shot that nigga mama. And y'all worried about my delivery? These niggas are confessing to murders on songs. And y'all worried about my delivery? The conditions of black sucking them, talking about booty holes. Y'all worried about my delivery? Come on, don't be hypocrites, black people. Y'all can't listen to this music if y'all so caught up in my delivery. Don't do me like that. And the way y'all snap and pop y'all pussy to this music, the way y'all kill and drill to this music, don't trip about my delivery. Hey, yo, Easy, why you wear your pants like that? I wear my pants like that because that's easy access, baby. Easy, why you talk like that? I talk like that to get my point across. Because when I wasn't talking like that, wearing a bow tie, y'all wasn't paying me no attention, and I was going to the Supreme Court changing laws and legislations in this country. I was working with over 50 U.S. congressional members, from Ted Cruz to Mark Rubio, Senator John Cornyn. I was on the front page of the American Bar Association Journal. I had done a study with News 21, Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. Y'all wasn't paying attention then. So, nigga, I gave y'all what y'all want. An ignorant motherfucking nigga that talk like them rappers. Now y'all listening. Now y'all paying attention, huh? I got y'all attention. Checkmate. Now let me tell y'all what y'all need to hear. We fucked up as a race of people since y'all so caught up into my delivery. 5% of children now are catching HIV from ages 13 to 21. What y'all worried about? 85% of the new chlamydia, all the new cases of teenagers. What y'all so caught up about? Nigga, only 35% of most kids in inner cities can read on or above their grade level. What the fuck are y'all talking about? These kids can't read. Come on, my nigga. So if we gonna be real, let's be real.
Like I think
he crushed that, but I'll let you go ahead and open it up.
I think Charleston White got a point. I think, you know what I'm saying, until it's dramatic, we as a culture don't pay attention to it. In the majority, you know what I'm saying, when he talked about, you know what I'm saying, when he had a bow tie, he was actually, fighting for different bills, different rights, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody paid attention to him. Now that, you know what I'm saying, he talks as ignorant as he talks. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's partially because, you know what I'm saying, he gets paid a check to talk as crazy as he talks, because he garners attention. He garners eyes. He garners views, you know what I'm saying? And because, you know what I'm saying, he has more notoriety now, you know what I'm saying, it allows for him to be this character that, you know what I'm saying, would actually get him paid. So, you know what I'm saying, part of it was because, you know what I'm saying, Charleston White, you know what I'm saying, has become this character that makes a shit ton of money just because he talks shit on everything that he goes on. But I do think, you know what I'm saying, he has a lot of realistic, you know what I'm saying, like points of views and realistic, you know what I'm saying, facts that he actually spews out there. You know what I'm saying? I 100% get that. I agree with him when he says that, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I don't know necessarily if you have to continuously deliver it that way, but he does make a point. So I can't disagree with him. I can't disagree with him, and I can't dispute with him, you know what I'm saying, what he's saying, because it's facts at the end of the day. When you talk about rap music and what rap music talks about, you know what I'm saying, you can't sit here and be mad at what Charleston White says. I 100% get that. It's a lot to unpack from that actual video as far as, you know what I'm saying, what he actually says. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I do believe that as a race, as a culture, we have a long way to go. Because you know what I'm saying, the only thing that it seems that you know what I'm saying we catch attention to, or that we pay attention to, is the dramatic of the dramatization of it all, right? Which is where he's making his living, is making it dramatic more than just boring. But these are true issues that we have to deal with, and true issues that we have to live with. I don't know, B. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a valid video where you know what I'm saying it unpacks a lot. We got a long way to go, but you know what I'm saying I 100% agree with him, with what he's saying.
Right. I mean, that soundbite, he definitely crushed it. I mean, I knew what he was doing from the jump, but a lot of people couldn't see that what he was doing from the jump. He really said it. The first time he ever said it out loud was on the 85 South show, where it's a character that he's playing. You know, but most people can't see that. They don't understand. But you got to play a criminal. You got to play something to catch something. So you got to play ignorant to catch the ignorant. You know, and we fascinated with ignorant shit. We like the more ignorant, the more better. You know, and I think that's some of the only genre of music that does that. And we engulf the music as if it's real life, as if it's the culture. You know, so it's strictly supposed to be entertainment. You know, and we actually, I think we're the only one that live like, all right, since he said that in the song, I actually got to do it. Do you think that's because of no fathers or something? Because I was caught up that, oh man, Pimp C said it, so I'm gonna do just like Pimp C said. Jay-Z said it. That's cool. So I'm gonna do that. And there's no guidance because nobody's said, nah, don't do that because that's stupid. You know, you just hear the song, so you think it's cool, so you think it's socially acceptable. There might be no guidance, and before you know it, you got the video we seen earlier from Vegas, where you don't know what the hell he's saying. You don't know what he's done. I don't even understand what you're saying or doing. I don't think they do either. All right, what's your purpose? What are we doing this for? So yeah, he crushed it. Like I said, what he's saying ruffle people feathers. Why is that when we actually bobbing our head and vibing and walking, going to work or going to somewhere to eat or something, listen to somebody talk about killing somebody or somebody sucking some booty hole.
Yep.
And like this is normal behavior. This is degenerate behavior. Should be an abomination. You know, 40 years ago it would have been. 40 years ago, a lot of stuff they say would have been banned. They banned. Don't forget they banned 2 Live Crew for saying, "Hey, I want some."
Yeah,
that was banned. You know, but listen, like what happened all of a sudden, like you know, we got girls kissing girls, and you got little kids singing that. You got little kids singing "Pound Town." You know, my this is pink and this is brown. You know, so what happened in that?
Yep.
That was 30 years ago. You know, 40 years ago.
Yep.
Just that quick, and it leaked into the culture. And we don't forget, dopamine never stops. So if that, you know, so that didn't shock you. That hey, I want some. Shocked us in the 80s. All right, now I gotta go further than that. Now it's easy now. Now I gotta go further than that. The world's biggest. Just don't bite it. Just don't bite it. That was shocking back then. Now that's like every other song now.
Yep.
So just the dopamine gonna keep getting more outrageous, and in order for to get the dopamine hit, you know, it's a drug. You know, think about it. We MC8 and all that. The first when gangster rap first came out. Oh, he said my gat. It was just matter that you mentioned the gat. Oh, he said a 9. ooh, I know somebody that got a 9. That was a dopamine. Now it's got so far. Now the Ghetto Boy is talking about killing. Yeah, I kill. Ooh, he said he actually go kill a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
That was like shocking.
Right.
Now it's not. I'm actually not only gonna name it, but I'm gonna do it and then talk about it.
Facts.
Now they like living out, you know what I'm saying? It's like they confessing the crimes on music. Like it ain't much of a high unless I actually did it. Dang, he actually did. He actually shot at his mama. Ooh, listen to that. Where's gonna go next? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, man, it's a race to the bottom. You know, think about it. Girls used to be, you know, they used to have these. I don't know if you remember. That might be before your time. Remember, biking shorts?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I don't know if I was there, but biking shorts was raunchy. But man, she got on some biking shorts. Now that's regular gym wear.
Everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go, you gonna see. Now they got the individual cheeks. Like they got a line, and they wear that to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We thought it was outrageous back in the 90s, man. That's for cyclists. They did something for cyclists and they started just wearing it. And it showed their shape. Ooh, she got on biking shorts. Remember that?
Yeah.
Now everybody show their shape and shit. Like dudes show their shape. You know what I'm saying? Dudes got on these tight jeans and stuff. Like, man, come on, what's going on? Now, you know? So it's crazy. So what's next? So I get it. We pretend to be outraged at the stuff we don't need to be outraged. And the stuff we need to be outraged is the support of the culture. That's crazy.
That's facts. That's facts. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's just it's hard to pinpoint it, you know what I'm saying? But like, look, when we talk about women, you know what I'm saying, and them showing their shapes or whatever the case may be, it's more prevalent now because you know what I'm saying, everything is tight. Right? You know what I'm saying? And no complaints about that. Just to be clear.
I want something to the imagination, like, you know.
Man, look, I don't want nothing to imagine. Look, when you got yoga pants on,
right,
yoga shorts on, you know what I'm saying? Let it all hang out. I don't give a shit.
I mean,
hey, look, you want something to the imagination, you know what I'm saying? Look, I imagine enough with that.
Well, my thing is this: once you get desensitized to that, now what's up? Now it goes to deviancy at that point. The thing is,
deviancy.
Yeah, because the high gonna keep getting bigger, just like any other drug. When you drink alcohol, but when you first start drinking, one drink will get you buzzed. Now it's 2, now it's 3, now it's 4. It's gonna keep getting higher. So if the woman already naked, now what it's gonna take for you to get, you know, back then, don't forget when we was a kid, man, we used to have, let's be all the way 100. I used to have the cable box that pop, 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 pop. Remember that? You used to have a little snap cable box. Remember that thing? With the little buttons on there. You press the cable box, you press the button. Tack, 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 tack. And each time you press the button, there's another channel. Snap, 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 snap. And I'm saying that to say this.
That might be you might be too old for me, Pete.
That
You know what
might
I'm saying?
be
You might be
before
too
your time.
old. God damn. Hit them. Okay, all right, go ahead.
So my point is that I'm saying that to say this is that when we come to the naked channel, when it comes to the Playboy channel, you used to have to snap it and then have a little flash or something for like 30 seconds before it start blurring out. Not even 30 seconds, about 3 seconds before it blur out. So it used to be back and forth. Ooh, she ain't got no shirt on. That used to be exciting to us. A kid could go on his phone now and see everything.
You goddamn right. B, where you was born at? 1963?
Nah, 76.
Goddamn, B. What you talking about? You was there hitting buttons and shit.
I'm about to
B,
say,
hit the button. Hit the button. What are we talking about?
Hold on a second.
Hey, look, I grew up, you know what I'm saying, at the area, you know what I'm saying, they had nudie magazines. You can see the nudie magazines.
Well,
and then you know what I'm saying, we still had the VHS tapes.
This is what
I
I
don't know,
grew
you
up
know what I'm
on.
saying? Yeah, the VHS
This
tapes.
is what I grew up on. This is what I grew up. If you had one of these, you don't know what I'm talking about.
Hitting the button, you know what I'm saying? Shit, that's beyond me. Shit.
You had that?
No fucking way. No fucking way, B.
Yeah, this what we had.
That's 1963, bro. That's way before I was
you
born.
see it say 1990s on that. Bro.
No, ain't nobody had that in the 90s.
Man, I had
Nobody
that.
had that in the 90s.
I had that in the late 80s, early 90s. I had that for sure. That's what I had in high school.
No fucking way.
I'm trying to tell you. And
no fucking way.
Each
Hey, look,
one
we had nudie magazines and VHS tapes at that time.
Well, think about it. All right,
not that bullshit right there.
All right,
I don't know what that is.
Stop right there. Let's hold that thought.
All right.
In order for you to get a nudie magazine or VHS, you had to be over 18. Where are you gonna get that from?
You got it from the people that you was in school with. I don't know where they got it from.
Well, we didn't have
people that you was in school with.
You occasionally.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Hit me up. Yeah, I get you. We had nudie magazines. We had that, but that was hard to get because you had to know somebody. You had to be over 18 in order to get that.
Right. You had
everybody had one of these at their house.
Brother that was over there. I don't know what that is.
That's a cable box.
That's a what?
That's a cable box.
What kind of cable?
It was regular cable. It was cable.
Man, that wasn't no cable box.
That was a cable box.
I don't know what that is. That's new to me, B. That's new.
That is a cable box. That's a vintage cable box. That's what I had in high school.
That looks like a radio station. You know what I'm saying?
That was a cable box.
Radio.
See each one of those little buttons? That was a different channel. That's how you changed the channel back in the day.
Man,
I swear to God. They didn't have no remote.
What year was that? It wasn't in the 90s. Don't tell me it was
the 90s.
No, stop it, B. Stop it. That wasn't 90s. No fucking way.
That was the early 90s, but that was the 90s.
No way.
Yes, sir.
That was new to me. That's new to me. I ain't never seen that shit.
They didn't have a remote. You had to get up and change the channel.
On that box?
On that box right there. Now, remotes came out afterward, and they had the digital box. Hold on. Let me show you the digital box.
Man, you might as well have 8-track on that shit.
That's what we started out with.
That shit is crazy.
I'll show you the first time we had digital first, and I got this probably like when by the time I was a senior. Boom! This is it right here.
That shit said it was the only way you could use the Disney Channel. What kind of shit is that? Man, get the fuck out of here.
This is hold on a second. This is the one I have in, and you had one of these, you was balling. You had one of these right here, you was balling.
Show me that.
Right here.
The fuck is that?
That's the first digital one where they had the digital screen on that bit. With a remote, where you ain't had to get up and change the channel. You was a bad boy, you had one of them.
Bro, I'm trying to think. Did we have that? That's crazy.
I had one of them probably like a 93, 94. You was a bad boy, you had one of them. That's what the first.
I could have had one of them. I ain't gonna say I didn't, but I'm saying
What
I
was
don't
your
remember
first
that
cable box?
I don't remember that shit.
But my point is, before that, when I was in middle school and high school, you had to get up and pop, 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 hit them channels, and you all day pop, 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 pop.
That was way before I was born.
No, that was while you were born. You might not have cable.
No fucking way. Hey, look. You used to watch. Hey, look, Arsenio Hall.
I got you by what?
We used to watch Arsenio Hall.
I got you by what? 5 years?
I don't know how much you got me. How old you be?
I'm 48.
I'm 41.
Okay, I got you by 7 years. That makes sense.
Okay.
So
Man,
if I
look,
was, don't
no
forget,
fucking way.
I graduated early. You know what I mean?
No fucking way. Hey, look,
hold
we
on,
used to
hold on.
watch Arsenio Hall. I don't know, like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It could have been, but I don't
Let's
remember
break
that
this
shit.
down. If I was in high school in '91, you know what I'm saying? I was what 13 years old in high school. You was probably 6 years old. You don't remember this?
No, I don't remember that shit.
That's why you don't remember it.
No way. No fucking way.
Yeah,
because I don't remember that.
Ask grandma and them about that. Ask mom and them. This was that one with the little clicking on it. That was the one. And then you had to have a little money to have one of them.
Ain't no fucking way.
Other than that, but if you didn't have that, you had the antenna with the rabbit ears on. I don't know if you remember. They had.
I remember. Now look. I remember the antennas, and then you had the foil on top of the goddamn antennas because you know what I'm saying you was trying to get a certain type of signal or whatever the case may be, it would cause an issue. I remember that.
Right,
but that shit, I don't remember that.
That was the first cable box.
No shit.
That was the first one. Them bitches, you had to get up. My point of saying that is that at the last one, you had the Playboy channel. Pop.
No, I ain't remember that.
Yeah, and the last one, it'll blur. It'll go to this screen. And let me show you if I can.
Because the only Playboy shit that I saw was on VHS tapes that I got from partners at school. I don't know where they got it from.
That's why you looking at me like I thought you was my age.
I don't know where they got it from. You know what I'm saying? They provided the VHS tapes. You know what I'm saying? It was off chain.
Hold on, let me see if I can bring. Oh, this is
again.
That's all I know I'll be on it, bro. Like this is it.
What we talking about?
This is it. This is it. That's
what
it.
Is that?
That's how the channel.
A scrambled cable box?
That's how it be scrambled.
No, I ain't never seen that shit. My shit was clear. It wasn't HD clear, but that shit was clear.
No. What I'm saying is that they had where you had to buy Playboy, right? You know, so but when you click on it, when you first click on it, it'd be clear before the scrambler take place. And it was delayed about 3 seconds. So what we'll do is hold on, this old nigga time. Only cats my age will understand this. This is some old cat stuff.
This old nigga times, huh? Hey, look, this is a new one on me.
I'm about to teach you something.
Okay, I'm learning.
This how the real struggle was back then.
Okay.
For you to get a little bit of sensation, this is the shit you had to go through.
All right.
The last one was the Playboy channel. So when grandma and them was asleep, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
When grandma was asleep.
All right. We had to keep pressing back and forth. And don't get a delay. So boom, I click back. All right, I got the little a titty. Click back, ooh. Because the scrambler get on there.
Yeah, that's a new one on me, bro.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. That's a new one.
So you had to sit there. You had to sit there every 3 seconds. Click back and forth. Click back and forth. Click back and forth.
So when grandma wake up, she don't catch it.
And you couldn't click that bitch too loud because that bitch clack when it clicks. So I learned how to You gotta gently, toggle that thing
Yeah,
back and
yeah,
forth.
yeah. You learn how to get it. Yeah, I got you.
Right.
I got
But
you.
that was the struggle back then. And there ain't no way you getting comfortable like the boys out with a phone. Nah, you just really and you just use the
It is.
to remember, huh?
It's a lot easier now.
It's
You
a
know what I'm
lot
saying? And
easier.
quieter now. Shit.
So now you got unlimited porn on your phone. We didn't
On
have
the
that
goddamn
back in
phone.
the day.
Absolutely. That's the scary part.
Yeah,
That's the scary part.
You have to use to steal a little sneak, 3-second sneak at a time. All with just listen to it scramble. Ooh, damn, she making some noise. What's going on?
Let me mute this thing real quick.
Right.
Let me mute it. Dog. That was a different type. That was
That was
different.
what it was back
That
then.
was different.
Because think about it, you 13, 14, you're not going to the store and getting no magazine. You got to know somebody with a VHS.
You got to. It's
Right.
the only way I know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I had to holler at a partner, and then you know what I'm saying? I had VHS tapes.
Right.
You had to hide the VHS tapes in between the matches.
Right. But that was
you know what I'm
later
saying?
on.
Parents
I
wouldn't
got
catch
to that point. I got to that point when I was like in college or something when they had VHS tapes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was once I turned 18, then I could go get my own VHS tape. But when I was in high school, you had the cable box.
Ain't no
And
shit
then
about
the digital one
Yeah.
made it easier because you had the remote, but it still was 3 seconds at a time.
No shit.
Yeah, it's 3 seconds at a time, man.
That's funny. Cause I had no idea.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was
idea.
wondering why you looking at me like that. I thought you was
I'm like, what?
Yeah. That's how it was back in the days, man. Growing up in the 80s and the early 90s.
That's news on me. Hey, look, but you know what I'm saying? The next time somebody bring that shit up, I know what the fuck they talking about.
Right. Hey, you got the old cable box.
Shit.
You know,
Gee.
shit. That was a
I
struggle
tell
back
them,
then.
look, we ain't had a cable box, but we had VHS tapes and
But
nudie
see, you had
magazines.
VHS tapes back then, don't forget, they used to be expensive when they first dropped. So you couldn't afford that. I'm talking about they didn't probably by the time your time, everybody had one.
Yeah. Because I got copies. They
Right.
sent me. They
Right.
gave me copies.
But
Hey,
then
man,
you had to
you
add
got
even more
whoop-de-whoop,
money.
whatever. Let me get that.
Don't forget, it was progression. By the time people were doing copies, that means VHS was cheap. Everybody, you could get a VHS for like a VCR for like $100, right?
Look, that's fine. That's fine.
But
And
before
look,
that,
and
VHS was like $600-700, and the tapes themselves was like $200-300 when they first hit the
I don't
market.
know who was paying that. You know what I'm saying? But all I know
Before that,
is
it was only rich folks that had that shit. Before that, it was Betamax, and Betamax was even more expensive.
Betamax? What the fuck is that?
That's what I'm saying. You ain't old as me. I'm trying to tell you.
I don't know what the hell a Betamax. All I know is I had VHS.
Betamax was before
I had
VHS.
VHS tapes enough to get it off.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Betamax was. This is a Betamax. Betamax was even more expensive.
I don't know shit about no Betamax. Hey, look, all I know is, you know what I'm saying, I was at the right school. They had the partners to give me the VHS tapes, you know what I'm saying? And I hid them shits in between my matches. I know that for a fact.
This was Betamax. You had to be rich in order to afford this. This was before it became mainstream.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
That's a Betamax. The tapes used to look like this.
The fuck is that?
That's a Betamax tape.
That's like a goddamn CD-ROM.
It was something similar to that, but the new version of it, where you could rewind and fast forward it, was the VHS tape. And once they start making them, it started getting cheaper and cheaper. And by the time it probably hit to you, everybody had one. But in the late 80s, early 90s, you couldn't afford that.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, tell me something.
Yeah, so I never had a Betamax, but I had VHS, but I didn't have VHS till I hit high school.
All I know is I was able to. I was able to get a video recording in order to get it off in high school. That's
Right.
all I know.
Right, but that
I don't know where that shit came from.
But that,
you know what I'm saying, I was able to get it off.
The first time I seen a porno on VHS was in high school. Late high school.
Long before I even got there.
Right.
Had to be long because we talking about 7 years difference. You know what I'm saying? Had to be long before I got there.
Right. So, but that was new then. By the time you hit high school, it was common.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a lot easier to get at that point.
At that point. So by the time you got on, it was easier to get. That's why. But nah, the first time I ever seen one was I was a senior or junior in high school. Like, damn, this is check it, and everybody, all the fellas would come from the whole neighborhood. Check out, hey, I got one. It was like gold. Like, you know what I mean? And
you was the nigga then. You was the cat then.
Right.
If you had one.
You came, and then the whole neighborhood came after school. Hey, let's go by B house. You got one of the tapes.
B got them there. Yeah, right. Facts. Man,
the whole football team would be there. We watching about 20 cats in the living room.
God damn.
Yeah.
20 cats in the living room watching them. No fucking way.
Nobody has seen it.
That'll make me feel uncomfortable, B.
I'm in
a room with 20 other motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, watching the goddamn porno, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in that bitch rock hard. And we in a room full of dudes, you know what I'm saying? No, man, y'all get y'all ass out. What are we talking about?
I mean, we got to talk about it all there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you the real deal Holyfield. Like, it was so new. Like, it was like when I was in high school, that it wasn't common like it is. The whole point of what I'm saying is like these kids got this, and what we used to have to go through in high school to get that, it wasn't like that. Like it
wasn't as easy as I did.
They so desensitized that
you're right.
What's gonna be next is gonna be crazy shit. That's why you see all this.
No, I get it.
Alternative stuff. Think about it. We ain't get exposed to a lot of stuff until like late, till college and stuff like that. You know, we'll talk about this. Let's talk about that. Man, we're gonna see y'all next week, man.
All right, that's a bet.
Let me oh shit. Let me see. I think this is when they end the stream too. Let me see some. Stay in the studio, outro, finish playing, or your broadcast may not end properly. Stay in the studio until outro. Okay, they say stay in the studio.